Oh, yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Big up to you. First stream of the week, and we're basically on time. It's the week to be on time. Big up to you, by the way, if you're just pulling up. Much gratitude from me to you. This is the Manchester United versus Leicester City match review, and also the Bruno Fernandes Appreciation Day. Yeah. It's international break, so the vibes are good. The vibes are chill. More or less just sort of. I like to get into this sort of period of the season with a little bit more relaxation and a little bit more upbeat, and this is perfect. This is exactly what we need. So I am excited to also look at it this way. We're 10 points away from European places. anyway, big up to you. Will in the building says Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes. We gotta give Bruno his flowers and respect and say, yeah, what a player we have. Anyway, we'll talk about the game, give each player performance grade. Big up to Yale, by the way, in the building. And yeah, we'll start with your comment, Yale. And I wish you an amazing week. Since it's the beginning of the week, let's do that. Football Power Hour! First things first, Yala says the good take. The two that needed to scored a goal, 100%. The two people that needed to score the most scored a goal. Let's appreciate that. Matter of fact, I knew something was weird in the air when I saw the first guy that badly needed to score opened the charts, Rasmus Højlund, on the 28th minute. Not only did he open the chart, but he used his weaker foot. What? His right foot. Even the goalkeeper was surprised. Huh? He has a weak foot? Oh my God. So hopefully he can continue to explore this and use this to his, advantage, because all you do is bait the defender to think that you're going to take it with your weak foot again, and then you put it on your dominant foot, and then the rest is history. You know what I mean? Because it's such an underrated thing, the fake shot. I always in the watch-alongs I'm shouting, just do the fake shot. You'll create yourself a space. But many times we've seen this season where Rasmus Højlund is just shooting the moment he gets contact with the ball or gets in a position to try and take a shot, but it's in a predictable way, if you get what I'm saying. It's like, oh, we're all expecting this shot right here. And the good thing about that moment, hopefully, is it opens up the valves and the gates, and that I can use my other side as well. And he can keep exploring that and make sure you strengthen your weaker foot as well. Because we don't know what star level his weak skill foot is, but we know he has a left foot. At least we saw it last year. So big up to Rasmus Højlund. But I also knew that was gonna be weird because Garnacho with his was that one with his that one was with his left, the one that got ruled offside. It was Højlund providing the assist. And then Garnacho, takes the ball with his left. And then from there, I don't know what's up with this kid, but he was about to do the Suvi. And then he goes to sit on the advertising boards, bro. Like Ganacho, Ganacho. To me, looking at that body language just tells me you want to be the poster boy. You want to be the one being advertised. That's what it is. He's just like, I'm so obsessed in this. And then obviously Toby Collier came to tell him, like, no, listen, bro. Um, just yeah, it's been chopped off. And yeah, but anyway, talking about celebrations too, Rasmus Hoyland was out here doing the and and Della's like, bro, it's okay. Let's just like stop celebrating too much. We need to get you back to scoring. So I like that. And I don't know what the hell this means, by the way. Like, need to hear Rasmus Hoyland talk about the explanation of that celebration. Or if anybody knows, maybe he has already done that before. But if anybody knows, please let me know. Let us know what Rasmus Hoyland means when he does that. you know. And big up to Will, by the way. And Star Lord in the building says, I'm listening in as I'm at work still. Hey, big up to Star Lord. Being productive. Anybody else, by the way, let me know what you're doing while you're listening. Some people are like, you know, somebody told me that when they're doing laundry, that's when they like to tune into the conversation and they're folding laundry. So, it's always nice to know what other people are doing. Anyway, what was I about to say? Then that's how I knew it was a weird game, Yale. That the two that needed to score the goal scored that goal, and also, like seeing that like offside thing that was ruled off, like it was Ganacho with his weak foot scoring, but then it obviously opened up the will. He's always somebody that's always willing to take the shot. That's what I like about Ganacho. He'll take the shot and it will be straight at the keeper sometimes, but like it still won't stop him. And he did with that moment when he scored. He received that ball first time, shot, and it wasn't necessarily like the best power or anything, but it was just the goalkeeper. You got to keep testing the opposition goalkeeper, and with a slightly better like shot power, and the accuracy is actually kind of a little bit improved. There's not a lot of like rosy Ganacho lately, at least in the last two games. I haven't seen a lot of like shots that are. It's feeling like a lot of them are on target. He's choosing to rather be on target and hit a low power shot as opposed to skyrocketing a shot and putting your laces through the boot, which is hopefully something that he keeps on developing anyway. A wrap up says, don't get too giddy, bots. Leicester are hot garbage. I'm just glad we showed they're not on our level. Exact wrap up. Sometimes I like to get, too optimistic, too giddy, but like I feel like this Leicester City team, I was telling this to Joe yesterday in the good, bad, and ugly. I said, it's just Leicester City. Do you know that Leicester City at this very moment are the first team in English top flight history to lose 7 consecutive home games without scoring? Oh my God! 7. No goals. So, honestly speaking, there was no test for our defense, really. 7 games without scoring. The first team. We need to have a conversation about Ruud van Nistelrooy first. Yo, we need to talk about Ruud van Nistelrooy and for a second. Like, what is going on, brother? You went from unbeaten interim to, bro. Yeah, the ship is sinking and it's not looking good. Is Ruud van Nistelrooy bad, or is Leicester City that bad? That's the question that I really have. Because, like, fine, Ruud has won stuff with PSV. So in a sense, he is a proven winner. But Leicester City, okay, they haven't retained a lot of that players from that that time when they surprised everybody in the Premier League. I think Jamie Vardy might be the only, maybe two other players. Maybe the remnant is still. I think maybe it's just Jamie Vardy. To be honest, I do not recall any other player that is still there from the time when they won the 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 Premier League. So anyway, so the point is, um, this Leicester City team is not a good barometer, to a good gauge, a good like test to tell us where we are exactly. So, but credit to your later point of the comment is that like we show them that they're not our level, because like that's, I guess, the usual thing with these teams that come from, like, if you're just newly promoted, you've been in the championship, you got relegated because of a particular reason, and then because you're not a particular level, Premier League standard level at that in that season, you know you're most likely going to go back down. And it's the unfortunate case of Leicester City right now. And yeah, hopefully they can get themselves together. And Ruud van Nistelrooy, I don't know what the future is for Ruud van Nistelrooy. If Leicester City, first of all, is it a good thing for him to go to the championship? I think yes, for his education as a coach, as a manager, especially if you want to excel in the Premier League, it will definitely be a good thing for yourself to get that championship perspective. And then when you get to Premier League, he's got a slice, he's got a taste of it. But somebody in the stream yesterday was saying that, well, maybe he shouldn't have jumped to the Leicester City. He should have been a little bit more picky. And because his CV right now, his stock is lower than where it was when he left Manchester United. That's 100% for sure. So, but had he left Manchester United and said, I'm not taking a job until July, like Eric Ten Hag, then he could have been maybe somebody that could have gone to a club of a slightly higher stature, a mid-table team in the Premier League, and maybe could have stayed in there. I don't know. It's just a question. I don't know. I'm curious what somebody would have to say about this, by the way. I'm going to put the link in the chat because I want to get to player grades. But yeah, this is the some of the things that I was just thinking about, about Leicester City saying, you look in the Premier League table, they've only had 4 wins, all out of 29 games, 4 wins. They've only literally managed to score 25 goals. Nah, we shouldn't be scared, and we shouldn't be what's the word? We shouldn't be reading too much into the clean sheet as well. We should be happy about it. We should be celebrating it, but we shouldn't be reading too much into it, in my opinion. So anyway, there's also the fact that I want to say, the last part of Yale's comment says, let me see, where was that comment before we move on? Yeah, we got Forest City next. We also got 16 days to prep, and Shaw should be back, but he will break after 45 minutes. Yes, Yale, 100%. Luke Shaw. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just there's no need. Like, I feel like he knows deep down. Like, there's no way in his right mind he still thinks like, listen, I want to just like, work and get back to bro, you've been scamming us. Look, you've been scamming us, and the energy is like, bro, it's time for you to leave. You can see what's happening with everybody else, and you're gonna look like that greedy guy that just like wants to just stay and fight for wait till you're fit and then fight for your place. I don't know. I just feel like it's just not right. How would you feel comfortable being in an environment when everybody is getting like these are just a whole complete remodeling project going on, and you're that person that's just like you're part of the remodeling, you need to go, but you're just gonna still gonna stick around. I don't know, I don't understand Luke Shaw. I really hope that this summer, like, we could work out something, I don't know, with Saudi Arabia, something, or MLS, you know. I thought of something that I shouldn't say, but also, what the hell? Like, I mean, whatever, man. It doesn't matter. It's like there's a lot of like good burger joints in the US. So Luke Shaw, like there's a lot of like cuisines. If I heard he's a foodie. I'm not saying anything else. I'm not saying anything else other than that. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, and also commercial deals, and there's just a lot that he could do in MLS that financially, if it's all about finances, Luke Shaw, just go pick up the bag, the American dollar or the Saudi bag, and you'll be fine. Your family will be fine. Anyway, Wales says, by the way, 9 games left. That's a big statement. I can't see us getting European football. The run is being coming back from international break, but can Bruno carry us? I think so. Hmm. Yes, Bruno can 100% carry us. 9 games left. Like Pep Guardiola said, for Manchester City, 9 games, 9 finals. Like, I mean, actually, for us, it's not really applicable in that same way, to be honest. It's more like, I feel we're at 37 points, and if we get, I think, we're effectively safe from relegation. That's never going to be a concern, because I think like we just need to win 1 or 2 more games. And I've never heard of a Premier League club getting relegated after like winning 42, 43 points. That would be crazy, you know. But anyway, European football, our only chance of that is obviously the Europa League. And the question is, can we start building the momentum? I guess that's one thing we can be a little bit more excited about. The fact that, look, European football is still a possibility. And if we really apply ourselves, we can do it. And remember, this Champions League and European and Europa League format is different, because imagine there would be teams that would have dropped off from Champions League at this time that would have been so difficult to beat, you know literally, like, we would be let me just take a second, first of all, to just let's realize this. We would have had to face teams like the likes of, maybe even say, uh the likes of Benfica would have been out here. The likes of like Dortmund would have been. I mean, Dortmund is already like in the quarterfinal, so like actually Dortmund doesn't count. But like the likes of who's knocked out, that was like that would have been fallen into the into the Europa League. Let me see. I think, like, say, oh my god, like, say for example, I should be looking at it from the Europa League, from the table. Um, it would have been a crazy, crazy situation. Would have had to face the likes of, say, definitely Shakhtar. Oh my God, just imagine playing clubs that you're like, this is gonna be a tough match. RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, Girona, because it would have to be clubs that like got knocked out earlier on in the competition. So anyway, so the whole point is, this new format is actually kind of favoring us and we really have to push. We really have no excuses, but we have to push. Celtic, oh my God! Imagine facing Sporting, Man United versus Sporting would be cooked. Would be cooked. Jokeresh versus who? At this point in the season, actually would be like having like Lindelof versus Jokeresh. Imagine you'd smoke that Atalanta, my lord. Boxwood, yeah. Um, yeah, Milan would cook us. So this new format actually benefits some teams in some different ways. And today, this time, I mean, this year, we're the ones that are actually benefiting in a in a in a good way. I don't want to imagine us facing like Juventus trying to win the Europa League. Man, that would have been a tougher climb. But yeah, and Nice lost their fourth. Let them stay there. No Champions League spot for them. Oh my God, just look at that. Fourth and no Champions League. That's crazy. Anyway, let's power through these grades really quickly and talk about the game because it's perfect actually now that it's you know wait, SLD says I need to apologize to Rasmus the GOAT. I don't know if he's the GOAT now. I don't know if this is who Rep Up is talking about. This giddy like GOAT. Nah. Made me even lose my train of thought. But what I was gonna say is here is the let me share the thing. Let me share the grades from last game, and then from there we're gonna go through the players that started like we always do. Look at that. We played Real Sociedad. We had a couple of C's and B's and an A. Bruno scoring a hat trick. The team has been like not getting D's. We had weeks where we've been giving now D's. Pause. But there's a lot more C's and B's, and then this is a good like if we put them up in a chart like this, we're actually on an upward trend in terms of the grades that we're giving out. And yeah, the braid says the beautiful striker. Oh Lord, all right. um Yale says, you do know what would happen if they finish in the Champions League spot and United would win the Europa League, right? United would be relegated to the Europa League. Um, you do know what would happen if they finish in the Champions League spot and United would win the Europa League. Oh. You mean Nice, right? Yes. This is United would be relegated to the Europa League, and yeah, and it's because obviously Ineos, right? So I don't know. I think Ineos would definitely make sure that United would stay in the Champions League. That would be a more sensible business decision. So you do everything in your power to make sure that United stay. But I hear you. Here we go. So like, let's clear out this. And first of all, start where we always start with the goalkeeper, Andre Onans. Now, if you get a clean sheet, let's just start it off like that. If you get a clean sheet in a Premier League game away from home, you're most likely gonna get a very high grade, right? There's also the thing that like Onana also did not have a crazy amount to do. He did have to block out a Jamie Vardy shot. I remember early in the game. Matter of fact, that shot was kind of like important because had it gone in, I don't know what would have happened mentally. But also let's also remember that he had conjunctivitis allegedly. All right. So Onans is gonna be an interesting one. I don't know. as you're hearing this, please kindly tell me, what do you think? What grade should Onana get? You know, and I think later on in the game, um, he like towards the end of the game, he did save um a shot as well. So considering he had conjunctivitis, I still feel like he could have played. You know, he could have had coffee, and or he could have had his doctor's appointment right there at work. You know, while he's in goal, he could have had the doctor's appointment. He gets a C for conjunctivitis. Says Will, get out of here. C. Remember means like, you know, like he did his part. He did his job, which is true. He did his job, but I think like he was also there for, um, like an important, like the important save at the beginning of the game, especially. That's the one that I want to give him credit for. Okay. I also feel like I didn't see a major improvement in terms of like say what you might call it, in terms of say his distribution. There was nothing that was like, oh, that's really great. He provided, or he created a chance, like say a goalkeeper like Edison has, so I don't think like he's in that sort of level, but I want to also give him his flowers for the clean sheet. Matter of fact, because it's international break, I might as well bring out the whiteboard. We might as well bring out the whiteboard. It's time for the whiteboard. Let's talk about Onana and look at this whiteboard real quick. So how do I okay, there we go. Boom. Andre Onana, Andre Onana, Andre Onans. Such an interesting character, because I wanted it to work, but honestly speaking, I don't see. I don't know. At this moment, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot for him to turn it around. But he benefits from the fact that he's not a priority. So okay, so here's a whiteboard. Let me see if it's showing properly. And yeah, there we go. Perfect. So right there we got the whiteboard, and yeah, we're gonna talk really quickly about Andre Onana, or what I like to call the Onana cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Onana cycle. Let's write it out. Wait, can we Onana cycle? Boom. How do I make this bigger? That's what she said. Okay, boom. There we go. All right. And then so he has Andre Onana is an interesting person, because interesting character, because like he has this thing about him where he goes through, like yesterday's game, he didn't make a mistake, and I call it the no mistakes phase. He just gets into this, like, benefits from, obviously, sometimes the team defending well. That's a big part of it. And then Andre Onans, after like a while, like, and while he's in his no mistakes phase, you'll see that he evolves like into like a really, like, oh, this goalkeeper is dependable. He will give you like a penalty save. He'll have what I want to say, a good moment, like a good save. You know what I'm saying? This is Andre Onana. He'll have a good save. You'll be like, wow, okay, or a save from open play that is instrumental, towards like maybe seeing a game out. You know, it can be a penalty or open play situation, but whatever. But it's an Andre Onana like like phase in the Onana cycle. Because once he finishes this good save moment, you're like, people are like, oh yeah, just before you're about to say this is why we needed to evolve into a modern day goalkeeper, he'll have his moment. He'll have his moment where while you're still praising him, he'll have a bozo moment where he just loses concentration, you know, doesn't dive when he's needed to dive, watches the ball go by, and he just like, you know, he should be acting like a goalkeeper and using his hands. When he's too erratic, exactly, Will. Right? And you have people like this is right, obviously this phase before it happens is before um people say he's gonna have an AGA or anything like that. But it's crazy. It's just the bozo moment happens, and when it happens, is you can't back it. You can't back it. You know why? Because it it costs you the game or the cup. And it's not just it's the game, it's like it's an important, you know what I mean? This is the Andre Onana cycle right here. That is what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. Andre Onana, the bozo moment leads to this, and then from there he'll silently drift into this phase, the no mistakes, good form phase, and I rest my case. Hit the like button for this, please. This is the Onana cycle. Um, thank you, Will. Thank you for the applause. Thank you. Yeah. So hopefully he stays in this phase as long as possible, and we, you know, eventually like make less mistakes. Because at the end of the day, it's all about like the less mistakes he makes, the better for us as a team. But back to his performance, I think it was a B, just because it was a clean sheet, and he needs to work on his distribution. Still don't see it. I know we bought him for it. They said we bought him for it. That's what the football scholars said. But the distribution is not distributing. You know? The mistakes face is actually rehab. You finding the phrase. So I'll give him a B. It's a very generous B. If we're doing minuses, it'll be a definite B minus. But that is how I judge Andre Onana's performance. And now we had also in front of Onana, obviously there was Delict, Lindelof, and Haven. And let me make sure that this is reflective of we're saying Leicester City versus Manchester United. Leicester versus Manchester United. Boom. So yeah, we had Delict, who I thought Delict was an outstanding player. Super duper solid, reliable. I'm running out of words to just describe how much of a favorite he's becoming day by day, game by game. So he is just such a future captain, reliable, solid performance. Even when who got beat, by the way, somebody was sliding on the right flank. It might have been, was it Dallo? I can't remember. Somebody slid and he got beat. And Vardy was going, and I think Vardy squared the ball to, was it Buena Norte? Vardy squared the ball to someone, and Delict was just there like, I'll clean up. I'll clean up that mess. And yeah, well, I can't remember who. Yeah, it must have been Buena Norte. And so shout out to Delict for that. And that was just incredible, resolute defending, solid performance. For me, Delict, it can't be a B. It's an A. It's an A. It can't be a B. Yes, boxers Delict as well deserves an A, as well as the captain. Vice captain material. Matter of fact, let's write that down. Yes, the braids. This is definitely a valid remark. Vice captain material. Boom. For sure. And then let's first of all, yeah. Before injury, let's talk about Haven because he's right next there on the list. Yeah, obviously we wish him a super speedy recovery. It's never nice. It's ominous actually just to see somebody being taken off as a stretcher. But rumors are that he left with like was it like something on his ankle and like probably like on crutches or something, but like so hopefully the scans will obviously tell us what's going on. And yeah, you want the future for that kid to take off because he is ready. He's 18 years of age playing like he's 28 years. We need to check the birth certificate. Wishing you a speedy recovery. All right, all right. So, and I think everybody, he was almost an A, uh, because he didn't make any mistakes. But like obviously, like I feel like a B would be a more justified grade. Just in the sense of that, like it was a confident, courageous display for a full Premier League debut that was just like, unfortunately ended by being carried out by an injury. So yeah. So let's talk about Mazraoui. Mazraoui. Ooh wee. Oh, should we? No, let's save Mazraoui for later because like I want to finish all the center backs. So Lindelof, we had Lindelof as well. We had Lindelof in the building. So let's go to Victor Lindelof. Is an interesting character because he showed, matter of fact, he was he was bullied and a chance was created. I just can't remember who. It must have been Jamie Vardy. Lindelof is the person that I was just describing that I couldn't remember just a second ago when I was thinking Delict. Lindelof is the culprit. He is the one. He got bullied by Jamie Vardy. Easy. Oh my god. This is why like I had blocked out his face. Oh my god. I'm so happy that I remembered that. Oh, because he's just a guy who's just like, I'm here for the vibes. I'm here, He keeps getting bullied. If you get bullied by Vardy, who's effectively like, Uncle Vardy, and yeah, and Daka also was, every forward would love to play against Lindelof. Yeah. Lindelof, I remember he was conflicted. Misusing your airblows. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so we're gonna give, okay, let me see what Will gave Lindelof. A C. which is really generous, in my opinion. But he was a center back who got a clean sheet at the end of the day. But he did struggle 2 times at least. He let Jamie Vardy through. He was definitely the softest of the lot. So, struggled, but still got a clean sheet. And I think we'll leave it at a C. Yeah, I have to agree with Will. I have to agree with Will on this one. Which sucks because it feels like there's an agenda against Lindelof, and there isn't. Big up to anybody that's joining the stream right now. I appreciate you coming through and kindly reminding you to hit the like button or make your comment be heard, your opinion be heard. We're talking about Victor Lindelof and how he was the weakest link, but still the chain was not broken. The link was still linking the chaining. So at the end of the day, he gets a C, and then we move to Mazraoui. We gave all our 3 center backs grades, and now we move to Mazraoui. So Mazraoui, for me, I have to also give flowers where flowers are due, and saying that, he's a, what do you call it? Utility player. And you can tell that on a wing back position, he's a utility player. But he did also give Rasmus Højlund an opportunity. And even though, it didn't happen in that moment, but he did provide a moment. So it's like he's just like a good demonstration, a good what do you call it? Like a good display. That's how I look at Rasmus. Pardon me. At Nuzer Mazraoui. I think that's how you pronounce it. So yeah. So I'll just call it a solid C or B. B. It's a B. It's a B. B for Mazraoui. It was just a steady, good performance. We did not have Dorgu. No. We had also what was his name? It was Dallo on the Dallo switched during the game, but Dallo was the other wing back, and Dallo is interesting. I don't know. Before we go to Dallo, B, that was from Mazraoui, says box. The heart says A. The mind says A. Says the brains. Oh my goodness, we forgot to give Mazraoui props also for doing this in a fasting period and finding strength to carry on and being consistent. Thank you, Will, for that is an incredible point right there. Thank you, Will, for that. Dallo B, says box. Dallo B. A B for Dallo. Let's see. Okay. I feel like Dallo was okay defensively, let's not forget that he got an assist, right? So okay, he's there in the charts for assist. So, and also good skill, by the way, to get rid of the defender, and then from there, and it was when he was where he was more comfortable on the right, but when he played on the left, he was not as comfortable, and it's not rocket science. We've seen this under Eric Ten Hag. The season where Dallo was player of the season, he was playing on the right. When he plays on the left, it is not looking good. Why did we keep doing this? I have no idea. But Ruben knows something. maybe they're really passionate. Both managers are passionate about making sure that Dallo, continues his education as a left back. I don't understand why, but he sucks. He sucks. The only thing that he can do, like we've seen him like win a ball and then from there lose a ball, like on that left hand side because he doesn't know how to judge the space where the byline is, where the touchline is, and then from there, like he when he's on the right, he can put it across. It's not Danny Alves cross. No, it's by no means not Carvajal crossing, but it's Dallo. You get what I'm saying? Like it does have some sort of like uniqueness that Dallo cross, and Ganacho can tell you about that he had to work hard to make sure that he connected with the bicycle kick. But the trajectory of the ball looks good. It's convincing. It comes in with a little bit of power. And he can be a little bit of a goal threat too from the right, because the ball can shift to his dominant foot a little bit easier. And then it's like he can decide what to do with the ball, go for a shot or go for a cross. So yeah, so anyway, so at the end of the day, good assists look better on the right, and please keep playing him on the right where he's better at. It's like asking somebody. I don't even know. I can't even find that. It's like asking somebody that's good at like making coffee to make like, I don't know, bake bread. Actually, they'll probably be able to bake bread, most likely. But like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, oh, asking somebody that like, yeah, is a baker to fix the carburetor in a car. You're like, whoa, fam, what are we doing here? Anyway, so I just want to say, so I feel like um what's his name? We talked about Dallo, we talked about Mazraoui, and now we might as well move to the midfield and say we have to mention Christian Eriksen, because he's the name that was missing. That's why I was looking. I was like, somebody's missing here. So Eriksen, Christian Eriksen. I know it was crazy, this fall off of Dallo, Bucks, when you think about it. Player of the season, player of the year last year, and the fall off. But look at Phil Foden also. He was player of the season, right? Premier League player of the season, and the fall has been kind of huge. He provides more GA than Dorgu, says Box. Funny. Kenda as a winger has one goal all season in league. Eriksen. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Let's move to Eriksen. Big up, Will. So Eriksen nearly scored and he was okay-ish. Maybe a B, says Will. Yes, when he's nearly, you talking about the moment when Bruno from the corner. That moment reminded me of Bruno and Pogba. Every time when you have a technical player and another player that also has like this technical and also has good technique, like when they combine, something special can happen. And Bruno, I remember Bruno giving Pogba, or was it Pogba giving Bruno? No, yeah, it was Bruno giving Pogba a ball outside the box, and Pogba did something special with it, went and found the back of the net. And that game versus Leicester City, we were moments away, centimeters away from seeing another moment of magic when two players with technique, work together. And yeah, it was such a beautiful trajectory of the ball too, Pity it didn't go in. So other than that moment though, I felt like Eriksen, he didn't do that much, in my opinion. I don't remember that much. Like there was that moment, and then he was just like there for the vibes. It was feeling Lindelof-ish. It was giving Lindelof. Honestly, like It was giving Lindelof. So a B is generous. I think it's a C. Unless somebody in the chat can remind me of something else that Ericsson did. Maybe we can change this. But yeah, two passengers and a 3-0 win. This is what the grades are showing us. We have two passengers within us. Starlord says Ericsson was garbage. Yale says Ericsson is too slow to play in England. A D or C. He did not much. He did not do much. He did nothing on the defensive. Average 72% passing is not good for him. Yeah, I think we'll settle on a C just because, yeah, Will agrees. C, I can stand that. And the Braves as well agrees on that. Box as well, more or less. Even though Box and Will were kind of, at first a bit too generous. I guess it's the win, it's the win and the good feeling. When we talk about, obviously, the midfield was comprised of Ericsson. We started off with what's his name? With Ugarte. We had Ugarte, and then we had Bruno. So we gotta talk about Manuel Ugarte. So Ugarte was important. I remember one phase of play. Who was that? It was a last stitch, like steal the ball from you, and I think it might have been Daka that was about to score. That was one really good moment from Ugarte. Was like, oh yeah. This, long distance run. No, it was Ndidi. It was Ndidi. No, it wasn't Daka. It was Ndidi. And then he kept on like popping up in pockets, what else? Yeah, that was good. It was good. It was doing his job again, like a high C, a very strong C or a light B. Yeah, Ugarte. For me, that's how I feel. It could be, you could feel differently about it, but amazing run to stop Ndidi from scoring. Solid game, and I think that gives him his flowers right there. Solid game, and we might as well also say big up to Box for saying that. That's a solid game. C is being kind. The passing was mid at best. The brains is saying we're being too kind to Ericsson. Nah. See, we won. We won Tex, Um Not the best game for Ugarte this. 78% pass accuracy. Won 3 out of 8 ground duels, but the tiny man won 4 out of 4 aerial duels. 2 interceptions, 3 tackles, and he was dribbled past twice. A C. Yale C though. Amazing run to stop Ndidi from scoring. Solid game. Yeah, the pass completion 68 is really low. It's not 78 even. You're saying it's 68. Okay, all right. Nah, this is a convincing argument, I'm sorry. Ugats. You are on the Lindelof and Ericsson level. But if we're doing C pluses, I think it would be a C plus. So just imagine it's a C, even though we say solid game. Interesting. So all right, that was Ugarte. We gotta give. Let's go to Ganacho. We'll do Bruno last. Let's go to Ganacho. And so Ganacho. Funny because Alejandro Ganacho found the back of the net, and I praised him at the beginning of the stream, saying, how he kept on trying, and that relentless attitude was rewarded. That is the lesson from Ganacho. Honestly, it was a really, really good, you know, display. And I think he has a thing about scoring against Leicester City. He scored 3 this season versus Leicester City. Um, and yeah, he also kind of did an all right link up play. It's starting to get better. You can see that Ruben Amorim says he wants to turn him into a complete player, and that means starting by improving him playing in the inside. And he is showing signs. Good goal, and yeah, and I think a B is warranted for Garnacho. That's my feeling. B for breaking the goal drought. B for breaking the drought. Yeah, big up to Stephanie. That's really fitting. Garnacho is a constant threat, but today with a goal. Look at that. Some days he's just a constant threat without a goal, but today it was a Garnacho was not involved much in the game. Only 16 passes, where 13 hit, 81%. He had 3 shots on target. Yeah, but I don't think this one is it's stats wise, I don't think it favors him that much, but he actually was important. And like he deserves his B, I think. Joining in, by the way, kind reminder to hit the like button. Thank you, Stephanie, for letting us know the like count is at 11. So big up yourself for that. What I also want to say is give props to, the other guy that was up front, Rasmus Højlund. All right. So Højlund got his goal, used this weak foot. Okay. Hold on. Used his weak foot. He gets the weak foot text. Rasmus Højlund. Talking about breaking the goal drought, and what was said earlier on so perfectly or eloquently, that the 2 people that needed the goals the most got them. And that was the perfect finish. Apparently he had gone 22 hours of football. Oh my God! Without scoring a goal. 22 hours. He almost completed a full day. Put this goal drought in a museum, because Sibusi So's guy, 22 hours without a goal, and you're a striker, number 9 for Manchester United. Mamma mia. All I can say is finally. I think that's the most appropriate thing, because I don't want to slander the guy, Finally. Ay. I think he scored a goal. It has to be a B. A B is befitting. Rasmus Ironside Højlund B, says Starlord. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. If you're celebrating, have a beer for me. I already had my beers over the weekend. Happy St. Patrick's Day from Stephanie. Bank holiday over here. Oh, nice. Big up to Overhead Kick TV in the building. Kind reminder to hit the like button as well. Look at the grades, my brother. Let me know how you feel, if you agree or disagree, because we're about to talk about, do we give everybody, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 18. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes. Where do we even start with this guy? Can you believe these people, guys? Stephen Warnock. Just hear this. Just hear this. Just hear this.
Numbers are incredible. On the ball, the guy's phenomenal. He sees things that other players don't see on a pitch, but he can also pick that pass. He can execute the pass. He's got that quality on the ball when you do need it.
You think he believes what he says? All right, maybe you do, but then listen to this.
He can complete that pass under pressure. But go the other side of things. Would I like to play against him going the other way? Would he track you back? Would he be hard to play against? I don't think he do. I don't think he is hard to play against. I think he's easy to play against. I think the other side of it, I'd worry when he's on the ball. But off the ball, I'd be thinking, there'll be teams watching Manchester United now and over the course of the season saying, run off the back of Bruno. He won't track you.
He won't track you. What? What do they serve at Sky Sports? I don't know if you guys heard that guy. He says Bruno off the ball is a liability. Has he seen Bruno like defending? That guy gives his all. That guy gives his blood, sweat, and tears. That guy gives a lot. And this is also one of those performances where it's the same and it's being rewarded with stats. And he got the really nice finish. He got the assist. The matter of fact, the first assist, it was like he's really the first assist was for Rasmus Højlund. He's on the right side, and you know, he sees the run. He sees the run from behind. He's like, okay, I'm gonna feed you in the channel. And that is what you want your creator to be doing when you're, you know, that for me, like I remember one time wondering, how will Rasmus and Bruno develop that chemistry? How is it going to be? But no, you know, I think that was distracted by the fact that Rasmus and Rashford had a chemistry that was taking too much focus. And now, if they can work things out, we might see something for the rest of the season, at least, you know. Of course, he still has to go, in my opinion, but obviously the powers that be will decide that. But that is how I feel about this kid, you know. So Bruno Fernandes, first of all, great assist. But the second assist that I want to big up is the fact that he's working hard in the box right there, trying to make sure that Garnacho gets the ball. And that's you know what I mean? This is what you want from a captain. So Bruno Fernandes, what a performance, what a display, what a clutch player, what a quality goal. Man, another 90 minutes. Mr. Incredible. Quality goals and good assists. So he, just like the batteries, gets double A from somebody. The Braids gives him a double A. Yali calls him the king of United. Yeah, you know. So yeah, you know, it's one of those things for me that I'm just like, incredible, Mr. Incredible. Monk says Warnock is a scouser. Subaru dribbled past him twice. I think it can happen, but he's capable of running back, says the Braids. Sure, exactly. And not only that, he really 9.5 times out of 10 he runs back and gives his all to make sure that he covers the space that he lost, you know, especially when he's in a defensive duty in a midfield. The link is in the chat, man. Like Kanye, if you want to pull up really quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and say also we gotta give a shout out to who was the other sub. Harry Amas came in. Harry Amas Harry Amos, man. I shouldn't get rid of Casemiro because Casemiro also came in, but Harry Amos. He deserves some flowers too. I really liked the fact that Harry Amos got his opportunity, and we had a clean sheet. Because like when we're leading and you throw in a player, you know, and it's that debut, and you're throwing in Harry Amos at what 69th minute. I think that's the time when he came in, and you're risking, but like it's a low quality risk. It's like a low like probability risk, and at the same time you're just knowing that like if they make a mistake, it won't hurt the team, it won't hurt the points. And Harry Amos came in, looked very confident, very assured, and it was a really good debut for him. So big up to Harry Amos. And I was really, really, really pleased for the kid. So it was a really good day, as we said yesterday, youth text, because we had Harry Amos, Toby Collier, Haven, play as well. Hopefully he's all right. So it's like Cheeto as well, 17, 17, 17, 17, and 21. No, yeah, 18, 21. That's like really, really young kids right there. So big up to Ruben Amorim also. It's a credit to him. It's a nice little like um nice little segue to Ruben Amorim and say like, he used the youth. So great selection there. We'll give him a grade after we hear the opinion of men like Cunny in the building. Big up to you, by the way, if you're just tuning in. Let's hear my brother. Big up, bro.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me, bro?
Chilling, man. Chilling, bro. Chilling, chilling.
Same
Just
here, same here, same here. All life, more life to you, more life to
yeah.
everybody in the chat. Hit the like button. Life is good,
Yes, sir. We won, bro. We won. We won.
bruh.
How do you go
Sorry, go
ahead?
ahead.
I was asking how you felt about the game and the win, and also, then I was gonna ask you to be more specific later. But go, how did you feel about it?
I have the time, bro. So yeah, I'm here for everything. I enjoyed the win, bro. It's been long since we scored 3 goals, bro. Like, bro, I was celebrating as if we won the league, bro.
Oh my God!
That's
Yes, yes. It's
bro.
actually 7 goals in 2 games, right? Also,
Bro, exactly. The feeling is like weird to me, you know what I mean? But again, I'm trying by all means. I know what this club has put me through in the past few seasons, bro. Like, okay, let's just talk about this season. We'll win, and then we'll go back to our usual default settings, and then start flap. Yeah. But to be honest, I think that's one of the best games under Amiram, if not the best for me. But
mm,
more so that kid, Heaven, bro. Yeah, it was
yes.
unfortunate for him to get injured like that, but I hope it's not. I don't know. I haven't really seen the news. Maybe you have more information about it,
No,
about his
that's still
injury.
doing the scans, obviously, but I think probably by the end of the day or tomorrow we'll know the extent of the injury.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
very good. That was a very good game he had. He's very confident. He's very very sure of himself, bro. Even in tight situations at the back, he's just calm. He's not okay. No, he's not scared to express himself, like to express
Mhm.
his like that youthfulness is there. Like he's man. I hope he comes back soon. It's
Yes.
gonna be an exciting squad when we have like going forward. If like the ages you just mentioned, it's gonna
Yeah.
be an exciting squad to have. If Amaron can still can mold them properly. Like to have Lenny Yoro. I'm looking at the back line of like Lenny Yoro, Heaven, Delect, and Mazarat. Bro, we're strong. We're really building. Like next season will be exciting. The type of players that we have, bro. They are all young. Like Ahmad. I don't know what's happening with Kobe though, but I'm just excited with the ages and how these youngsters are coming up. Those are the positives that I'm getting.
Yes.
You have to choose your battles, bro. I'm choosing those positives.
Yeah, bro. There's like a few things that like the one positive stat from that we have right now that we can cling on to is that we're the unbeaten team in Europe. That's another one in the positive like stats to put in the bag. Is like, bro, at this very moment, Champions League been played, Europa League been played, and we are the only team out of those two competitions that
Yeah.
have it, that are unbeaten. So it's like there's a few things, but we take what we can for now. I wanted to ask you about Ruben Amorim specifically and say, like, from his point of view, what do you think is a grade that he deserves, and also, yeah, and why?
Uh, I'll give him a I'll give him a B as well. No, I don't think anyone deserves an A yet for me
Mm,
from this squad because an A I think should be given with if they are more consistent with the results, are more consistent with the performance, then we can start going to A's, right? So
mm-hmm.
I'd give him a B. You know, the way he's decided to put Garnacho on the right where he's more productive rather than making him play in his more preferred left-sided position where he becomes this player that just wants to cut back, to cut in and then try to shoot aimlessly. So for him to consistently bring him back to the right, and we are seeing more positives from Garnacho on the right. For me, that's the manager saying, okay, I'll put you where I think you will produce properly for the team as a whole. Forget this
Mm,
whole superhero like trying to no like we right now we don't need individual performances. We need our squad performance to even if we galvanize 1-0 wins just to develop that winning mentality within the players. So
mm.
I think he deserves the praise. Amarim needs also he just needs time, bro. Like he hasn't had a proper window for himself. You know what I mean? He's
Yes.
brought in a few players, but we need a full window for him, a summer window where he can have these players, choose at least two, three players that he really wants that we can see. That's when we can start judging him, like seriously putting him under the knife. But so far, that I'll give him a B for me.
Yeah, all right. I think a B is justified as well. I agree with you. He got a clean sheet, coached for a win, used the youth. He did the best with the players that he had available. The only thing that I was mad about was the fact that he didn't start Xerxes, because I was just screaming. I was one of those people at the beginning of prior to kickoff. I was like saying, Xerxes should be in here. He should be the one, but
Mm.
um credit to him in the long run. I think this will benefit Hoyland, the fact that he if he hadn't started, he would have got that goal. And now, like, he scored in the 25th, 27th, 28th minute, somewhere there. So it's like, you know, credit to the manager, credit to in the bigger scheme of things, credit to him. But I wanted the form and confidence and chemistry to keep growing that Xerxes was building with his teammates. So you know what?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you're right. You're right
And I wasn't
about
worried
that.
about fatigue or anything, saying, look, bro, these guys are gonna have time to rest. Xerxes is not first pick so he'll get time to just relax. So, but anyway,
Mm.
it is what it is. He coached for a win and he used the squad well.
I totally agree with you. I was also a bit worried about like what the coach is doing. Like, how are you going to bench the player that was almost like our best player in the previous game? It's like you want him to have this to get used to have this consistency going. You know what I mean? So I was also a bit like, what is Amiram doing right now? But he knew what he was doing. I mean, that's why he gets the big bucks. But I wanted to say about like you mentioned something about Bruno and Rasmus developing something. You know what? Bruno being the stat merchant that we always say he is, right? There's very few connections that he has. How come we've never questioned Bruno not, offering chances for Rasmus lately? That's something that we never really looked into. Like,
Yeah, I said
yeah,
Bruno had been too focused on Rashford.
yeah, like they don't seem to have a connection to, like, if you look at it like from the position, like Bruno plays from the middle, like he doesn't seem to be giving opportunities to Rasmus. So
Hmm.
yes, like yesterday's game, we saw he could do that. So if they can develop that together, I mean, that can really help Rasmus. Me, I don't know how many the people that have already that want Rasmus to go. I know Rasmus came to the team, to the club, not as our number one striker, right? We were looking to get Harry Kane and then have Rasmus, or get an established striker and have Rasmus as a backup. That's what we got Rasmus for. We never got him to come and lead the line at Manchester. So, and then he found himself in this position. So I would love for Rasmus to be given a chance next season. You know what I mean? Me, I'm not
Hmm.
really into, if we can get a striker and then Rasmus comes from the bench, I don't mind that. Like I'm not really, I don't think we should really just kick him out just like that. I feel as though if the team plays well and chances are being uh, provided to him, especially from the middle, balls that he can run with, and I'm sure that that guy's got it. He's a great finisher. You
Yeah.
know, we've seen it before. We've seen it last season. The type of goals he was scoring, whereby he creates them himself and goes on to score. So I'm not with the bandwagon that wants to get rid of him just like that. I think we need to just concentrate on getting an established striker, goal scoring striker, who can be the number one striker and have Rasmus come on cup games or come on as a sub. That I don't mind for Rasmus. And we've seen how Joshua Zexi has gotten, like, his confidence is good on the ball, is quick with his feet, and we just need to develop around them, because again, when you realistically speaking, we're not known for getting rid of players and buying players real quick, like dealing like the way Chelsea deal in the transfer market, or even when the transfer market is closed, like with stealth, like quick, with that quickness. Us, we want to talk about a player for like 2 weeks, develop this hype around the club, and then after 2 weeks, that's when we're having initial contact. After another week, that's when. So getting rid of players before we bring in any players is something that we've been doing, and we've always kind of lost. If you look at the time when we got this started from even the time we got rid of Fellaini and them. Fellaini was never replaced. No, not even Fellaini. Let's start with Ander Herrera. This is where it
Yeah.
started. When we got rid of Ander Herrera, we never replaced him, if you remember,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
exactly. So we're always getting rid of players and never replacing them. Just like now, bro. In January, we got rid of our attacking options in Rashford. I know there was an issue with Rashford and Anthony, but who did we bring in? No. So this whole culture of like, oh, let's get rid first. I think we should be able to try and bring in players and get rid of first. Get rid of
Mm.
others first. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear it. I hear it. I wanna focus on the last player to mention, because Cheeto really was a really short cameo. He barely touched the ball. But Xerxes somebody, and Collier, big up Collier as well. Collier had a
Yeah.
he played his part. I think you know
Yeah,
for
and he played
Ganache score.
and he played in a position he's not really comfortable in, right? Because he went,
Yeah.
yeah. So big up to him, Collier, bro. Like, okay, Collier we already know. The kid that also needs some praise is Harry Amas, man. He looks
Mhm.
okay. He looks really good. He looks like he can do a job as a sub, as a deputy or something.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know what you think about his performance, but I felt as though
Yeah. He
yeah,
for me, the first moment, the first sign when he came in and put in that really good cross, that
yeah.
if Rasmus had been attacking the first post, it would have been an instant impact. If you've
Mm,
done that in training with him, just expect
mm,
that he's gonna do like a good cross. you know, and
Yeah.
and he should have been attacking the first post and would have had like a moment of like, ladies and gentlemen, this is we present you Harry Amas, you know, like
Yeah.
but you can tell like we've been dying for somebody that's comfortable on that natural like left foot situation since Luke Shaw's been gone. So
Yeah.
yeah, man.
That player still
Yeah.
exists.
Yeah, it still exists. It still exists. Talking about, by the way, the last person to mention is Xerxes. That some good skills again, good trickery display,
Hmm.
and also I remember the fight with the Leicester guy. He was trying to fight. Is it Fies or Fies?
Fires or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I loved that. I loved the fighter spirit.
the
You know.
the fighting spirit. You check that's got some heart in him, right?
Yeah. That's because that guy was just trying to injure him. It's like, bro, well, you're
Mm.
going to the championship. Let me finish my season and you go down, bro. I don't
Yeah.
know, like what in the hateration is going on. That guy was just like Xerxes had gone past him, and he wants to foul Xerxes, bro, and injure him. Nah, I love Xerxes' fight for that, and he gets a B for that. It was gonna be a C, but he gets a B. So, so
It's a B. Oh my God, don't get it. And trying to
just for
bring
the
drama
fight,
just for the
just for the
fight against us.
fight, you know,
Alright.
you know.
And
Then,
also, uh, our guy Diogo Dalot.
yeah, how do you judge Delo's performance?
I think I'll give him a C, man. Like it wasn't really. It's nowhere a B. It's a C. It's an improvement from the previous performances he's had, to be honest. But it wasn't
Bro,
really much of an improvement. He had a few moments that actually led to a goal. One of them, I think, and then the others were a bit uh, threatening. He put himself in good threatening positions, and I think he even had two crosses that were good. But
yeah.
he could do better. Like he's still good. I think didn't he get a Casemiro stay at one point again? Did he?
No, not like for me, it's like he looked better when he's on the right,
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's
right?
his preferred position. So, but that's why he was getting a lot of criticism, more so from, especially from me, sorry, because
Yeah,
when we put him on the position that he prefers, he was
yeah.
outrageous. Like he couldn't, he was performing poorly, bad. Like, but bro, this is your preferred position. This is where you shine. That's the only thing I had against him. Like, you cannot do this. When you're playing on the left wing, I can understand. You can come and say, "Oh no, this is not my preferred position. I'm just, like this is a makeshift position." But when you go to where you're specialized, you need to prove something. You need to do something. And Dalot hasn't been the best, his best lately. But I hope it's a change of the change of the wind right now with this performance and the win. It gives him a little bit of confidence, and uh, he scored the last goal, right? Last game, not this one, the previous game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm hoping it's building into something. Dalot is a player that I like because he's never injured that often like others, and he's quite like he's a bit tenacious as well, so I like that about a lot. He's just been very poor in form wise,
I
so I'm
hear it.
hoping, yeah, I'm hoping this changes. He's one of my favorite players, so I would not really judge him badly, but I will not also just give him a mark just because I like the player. So he's gonna get a C, and the C only comes because of that same step over, and then the effort that led to a goal. So C.
All right. I hear it. I hear it. Big up young
Mm.
puppy in the building, by the way.
Yes, my boy.
Yes,
Well, go on,
sir.
Everything's
well, go
best.
on,
Bless up, Kenny.
well, go
Yeah.
on, Papi. What's going on?
Everything is blessed, Persky.
What's your say on Dalo, bro? You hear Kanye and I are on different grades with him. Where do you stand?
Um, Anywhere between
No,
C and a B.
pick one.
Um, you know what? because he done good at the game before. I know this is a review for this game, but because I saw consistency from the game before, right? I could give him the B.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And everybody who watches knows that I give him an F every week, even
Yes.
if he scores.
Yes. Yes.
So
Okay. Okay.
I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like majority is gonna lean towards B now. Like majority on the panel. So Kenny, you're the one who's gonna be harsh and say C, and we say B.
honestly, I don't even look at that as harsh though.
Yeah.
The C
Like
is not
that's
harsh,
still
right?
like it's not harsh at all. Like that's what
Yeah,
you expect from him, and that's an average performance if that's the expectation, right?
yeah.
Mm, mhm,
If he
mhm.
exceeds your expectation, that's where it becomes better.
Mm,
Yeah.
So I can't you can't argue with him giving it a C, innit?
mm.
Yeah. And anybody else that you agree or disagree with, and when you
Because
look
you
at
know why? Just to sorry
yeah.
before you come in, Papi. You know why I'm leaning, I'm strong with the C's because I don't want him to be in the same. There's other players like Bruno that influence the game that have been like even from the previous game that are getting a B, and I don't want to put Dalot in the same at the same level as them because they've been working hard, especially Bruno. So to put Dalot and Bruno. So then would have to bring Bruno to a A because they haven't contributed the same. Bruno has had more has contributed more than Dalot when you look at it
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because Bruno has moved. Didn't he move from the attacking then moved back to like almost in the middle?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and still didn't drop a performance at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Um. Somebody that the referee. How did the referee do, guys?
Mm.
To be fair, I really had no complaints with him in all honesty.
Okay.
I don't say that because nothing got called against us like that, but at the
Hmm.
same time, it was just one of them games where you just didn't even look at the referee, innit?
Yeah. Because I there was no replay on what happened to Heaven. I don't know if it was somebody or if he was just by himself. Like
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
I still have to look at that as well. Even
yeah,
right now, yeah, I still have to look at that to see what really happened. Obviously, Twitter will show you, but I
yeah.
haven't been
Mm.
to really look. Kind of
They
upset at that, to be fair.
they seem to have collided with the Zambian guy Patson Daka, I think somehow.
But
Oh,
like, did he roll his ankle before or something like anything could have happened in that situation, innit?
It was a collision. Yeah, when they were he was defending, and I think Patson Daka was going on the post side of the goal, and then he fell awkwardly. I think maybe even Patson Daka put some weight on it or something like that,
Yeah,
and
that's
that
what I'm
was it.
saying. I feel like he was rolling his ankle and then he just made it like, yeah, 100% real or, even worse. But
Yeah.
big up to Kenny
hoping
Finn.
for the least with that.
Big up to Kenny for this, saying Wilfred and Didi should have been sent off. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So maybe the ref gets a B then for that. I can't remember why Didi needs to be sent off to be fair. Like, um, I don't remember much about the refereeing. The officiating just felt like
There
But this
was
is what I'm saying. Like, besides
yeah.
the flag going up so late with Garnacho's first goal,
Hmm.
besides that part, I didn't really have no arguments with him. Like, I didn't even really worry about the ref or anything that whole game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think he had a fair game, to be honest. Like we're usually harsh on officials. I think when they have just a game that whereby they are noticed, then they've actually refed okay, right? So we might as
Yeah.
well just say like he had a good game, so we can give him a B. It's all right.
Yeah. All right.
Honestly, it was one of them games where we didn't give him decisions to be making like that, and
Yeah.
everything was
Hmm.
pretty straightforward. Like, so that's where it's like no complaints. Like everything was just what we saw play it out. Like,
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. I gotta look back at that Ndidi though, like, but I don't know. I have to look back at that to, see what Dean was saying. But if that was the case, then
Yeah, yeah. No, 100%. By the way, Yale with a question I did not know the answer for. Is the 66 ticket price out the window with the new change of an increase in ticket prices of 5% and under 16 frozen, which means no increased prices for children? Not sure. But
Honestly, if tickets are 66 pounds, right? I
yeah,
need that link.
word.
Why? Are
Give
they
me that
cheap for you?
link any day of the week, please.
Are they
I could do that.
are they cheap
Mm.
for you? People are complaining in Manchester. That's a lot of money, bro.
Hey, I'm wondering why the complaint. I'm like, I mean, shucks.
Bro,
That
that's a lot of money. £66 is a lot of
when I
money,
go
bro.
to watch a game, honestly, when I paid, nah, I paid like about 65 and I paid for two tickets. So yeah, I felt like that was cool.
Mm.
Like that was the
You,
last
you,
time I went
you
to go
paid
watch a game.
65 pounds?
Yeah, per
Okay.
person, and I paid for two tickets. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
at the booth. But obviously, you go to people that have connects and stuff, and now you're looking at like 100, 200, depending on the game and all of that. I'm here like, all right, cool, no problem.
Yeah.
I will prefer it to be cheaper, but I'll go for the experience, no problem. So
Mm,
to see people complain about 66 pounds is that ain't even $100. That's
yeah.
nothing.
It's
Mm.
almost 100, isn't it? It's like $90, right?
Yes, yeah, some like that. Probably not even actually. It's probably like 80 something.
80
Low
something.
80.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, anyway, big up to Riri who just joined as well, saying, "Whoa!" Shout out to you, Riri. Um,
Riri is hilarious, bro. She's hilarious.
I
She
love her
she
energy. I
she
love her
she just
energy.
she just gave a comment that cracked me up, bro. She was like, KG's the African funk master flex, bro. I was dying, man. And you know what? KG, unknowingly, he comes to drop the bomb like Funk Master Flex. Bro, I died. I was like, yo.
oh Lord.
Like they both have bombs, bro.
Oh man, that's
That
too
was
funny.
funny. I
Um,
swear.
yeah. Anyway. The doctor was saying that's my phone bill for 4 or 5 months. It's crazy. Anyway, um, we did the grades. We talked about the performance. We gave Bruno his flowers. Um, yeah. Question is now like moving forward. Our next game is Nottingham Forest. I don't know. Let's quickly talk about that and as we conclude the stream, because like, how do you guys feel like we will do versus Nottingham Forest?
I think it will be a humbling game for us. We'll go back to reality because Nottingham Forest are in the top four. Let's not act as if they're a good squad. They've been well. It won't be an easy game. If we
Yeah,
can beat Nottingham Forest, then I'll slowly get my confidence back. I'll be back like, oh, maybe we can even do something against Leon right now. Like we can go on and get a result. So far, that Leon, that Nottingham Forest game is going to be the one that's going to give us a chance to gauge ourselves how we can fare in this Europa League to see if we can go on and win it or we're just playing just for formality's sake. But
yeah,
to think that it would be an easy game, a walk in the park, that's crazy. Because this team, bro, is crazy. Like the moment you cannot say just because they won one game, then all over a sudden they're back. They've been doing this for a long time. They win a couple of games and go back, start, like missing chances, can't even make good passes. And I know this team. So I'm waiting for a run of like 6 consistent games where I can see proper performance from the squad for me to be able to be very confident coming next. Nottingham Forest are in the
Yeah,
top
I agree.
top five, I think. I'm not
yeah.
sure. So yeah. So that's not going to be an easy game. That's the one they need to show us that they can carry this form that they're sort of pretending to be on. They can carry it on. Otherwise, for me, it's just another short purple patch. We've had
Yeah.
plenty of these purple patches for me, so I'm not really excited. I'm excited we won, but to be confident and say we're back or we're doing something, nah, I need to see more.
Yeah.
I need to
Doctor,
see more.
the doctor says we can scam a draw. Big up, Pav. Do you think we can scam a draw versus Nottingham Forest?
Probably not.
Well, go on, Pav. What's good?
But according to KG and the idiots in the chat, we're back in it. We've turned a corner, so everything's cool now, innit? We turned a corner, man. Xerxes, Zerkamp, man like Xerxes, Kaka, man moving like Kaka, man moving like Ronaldinho now.
The
Got
thing
no
is, has
output, but
nobody seen our April schedule? Like,
absolute baller with no output,
Yeah.
our April schedule would tell us what's up, and it's not looking good in all honesty. So hey, we'll see. Hopefully, I can bite my tongue to that, but
yeah, we've turned a corner, boss, man. We're gonna win every game now to the end of the season.
No. Like look at in the
You
chat.
know what?
Stephanie says we have
Pav,
27
Pav,
points.
like,
Love
like,
you.
Pav,
Reread.
are you ever happy, bro? Like,
What
just
is
in
there
life.
to be happy about?
No. I'm just
Tell
talking.
me.
Not even. No. Not
Because
even
we're not
Manchester.
winning anything.
Not even
So what am I
Not
supposed to
even
be happy
Manchester.
about?
I'm not even talking about Manchester United. I'm just asking on a general question, bro. Are you like? Are there days you wake up and you're ecstatic about the day?
But tell Riri, you know when we play clubs and that, who's the calmest person out of everyone? Me, innit?
Sometimes you're not calm. Though.
I'm not. I don't do the whole. I'm not angry all the time. When it's the Man United stuff, when I see people waffling, it's like, bro, come on. Use some common sense sometimes.
Pav is my dude, man. Pav is my Punjabi menace, man. He like his consistency I admire and I respect because he's consistent all the time.
And even when like KG's doing the hate alongs and
I'm
that,
just kidding with you,
I'm
though, Pav.
not even
I hope
angry
you know
at them. I'm bare happy, innit? Because we're not talking about Man United. But this whole Man United stuff, I can't. But like, you would think after 12 years, people would use common sense.
Nah, they broke you, Pav. You're broken. Like,
I'm not broken. I've already said the time when we're back here, whenever that is, I'll be unbearable.
Question for you:
I've never said I'm hammering out. I've never said it. I've never said it.
So I just wrap up asked that.
I've never said the words, innit?
Okay.
No, but I agree with you.
I might have implied it, but I've never said it.
Okay.
Oh, so implying
I think
and
Pav said that you'll be hammering out after what? After the start, after he gets
I did. I'll be honest, yeah. I have said if he stays, it's fine. If he goes, innit? But the thing is, yeah, the results for when he come in, I thought I could withstand it, but I can't, bro. It's criminal where we were and how bad we've been. But like I said, like we're financially messed up, so I don't really care if he goes or stays, innit? End of the day, the club are going to be making signings for themselves, not for a manager specifically. So
you think so? You think that's how it's gonna go, though, Pav? That they're gonna make signings for themselves and not
it's what
not
they'll do, because
some signings
that's what every top club do. They have the way that they want to play, and they're going to sign players that they feel are right for the club, innit? It's not going to be. They're not going to do this whole thing what Ten Hag failed to do, where he wanted to sign all his players and he failed miserably. They'll sign players like Dogu will work in any formation. I can already see that.
Okay.
So like you got Dogu, you got Mazarawi, who could do this pretty much the same. But I don't want a load of players that can play multiple positions. You need to actually have specialists in certain areas. Yeah.
Well, your specialist would probably be your strikers and your tens, no?
Yeah, and like your holding midfielder who we've got in Ogate, he's like he's gonna be the new destroyer, innit? So yeah. The only thing is like we're forcing some players like Delo and that who ain't been comfortable all season. Same with probably Garnacho, Rashford when he was there.
Honestly, unpopular opinion for me personally, I think Delo is completely overplayed. Like he is.
I do feel sorry for the guy because he did play
He's the
majority of the
only-
season in positions
Yeah.
that he don't play in, but he's got to take accountability for his performances as well. But
He is overplayed, man. Like there's no other body.
But-
Like he plays almost every game.
Yeah.
there's only probably been one or two players that I'll go in on Xerxes, but I've said, like, when I saw Heaven come on, right, 3 games ago, I was like, my God, these are quality centre back. And look how young he is. When I see a proper talent, yeah, I'll recognise it. That's why I said Heaven. I was like, he's going to become a top centre back. So I'm fortunate about the injury and I'm pissed off, innit? And Patson Daka, bro, I swear, I hope you get an injury.
Bro, that's no. That's my Zambian guy, bro. Come on, Pav, chill. That's my
Then if
Zambian.
he's your Zambian guy, then you can go meet him and give him an injury, innit?
Nah, Pav, nah, you can't go
But
there.
nah,
That's my
like
Zambian
Heaven,
guy,
I can
bro.
already see
We have
Heaven and
international
Doggy,
matches
yeah.
going on. We have international matches coming up, bro. I need him to.
Oh
Bro, we
yeah,
need to
cool.
qualify for
Hopefully he
Africa
gets
Cup.
injured. Hopefully injured,
Listen,
innit?
and Patson Daka didn't even mean to do him. He's not that kind of player.
Nah,
They
but
just
Daka, man.
collided, bro.
If I punch
They
you and I
just
said I didn't mean to do it, yeah, then I'll get scot-free, innit? So I get off scot-free if I didn't mean to do
No,
it.
bro.
But my hand,
Bro,
my fist accidentally went flying towards your face, but I didn't mean to do it.
it was a collision, bro. You saw that, bro. Like there was no intent
Nah,
whatsoever.
bum
No
Daka,
malice.
bro. He's a scrub. What a scrub.
Nah,
Wait, AFCON
nah.
is on. AFCON is on this in the next 2 weeks too.
It's international, so I think we're having qualifiers.
Oh, the
World Cup
qualifiers. Okay.
Yeah, we're having our
World Cup
qualifiers.
qualifiers.
But
No,
honestly,
but
yeah, going forward, yeah, Heaven and Doggy, yeah, are 2 players that I think that will make it. Like, bro, I said, yeah, like the first game I saw Doggy playing, I got pissed off with Aaron because he played him at right wing back, and I was like, bro, what you doing? You begged for a left wing back, and he played him at right wing back, and I literally would have fed Amarim out the second week if he played Doggy again at right wing back. I would have taken the ban off for KG's channel. I don't even care. And but then he actually played him at left wing back, and as soon as he started playing at left wing back, I've been seeing that his performances have been getting better. And unfortunately, he got a red card, but it is what it is, isn't it?
No, them young players are they're gonna need tutelage. They're gonna need a lot of tutelage. Them young players, like they're gonna need tutelage and they're gonna need guidance. Like you can't just leave them out there on their own, like we did other young players. Like we can't do that.
True that.
I'll be honest. I reckon that Dogu eventually will reach Patrice Evra levels. I can see
Dogu, the ceiling on Dogu looks very high. Like he's.
Butch, that's the one name might be out there too, isn't it?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
But looking at our squad, though, I see a lot of promise in our squad. Especially, we spoke about this. I don't know if you guys were in the chat or what. Me and both spoke earlier on about looking at the ages that we have. Dogu, the Lenny Yoros, Haven, Ganachos, Ahmad. It's all 20, 21, 18, 17, So next season looks promising. If we can just bring in, like what Riri said, just like specialists, but matured specialist. I wouldn't mind an out and out striker that's a proven go getter.
Do you not think we do need a couple elders men as well? Because you can't have an entire young team because they'll get battered every week.
Of course, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Tutelage.
Yeah.
Like you need elders. You need elders to guide these young players and in their various positions.
This is why when I heard about Bruno, people selling Bruno, I'm not comfortable with it because if you've got people like Maguire who's possibly going, Evans going, you need someone to keep these youngsters in check. And I think Bruno's done pretty well in his captaincy, matured from the beginning, where obviously he was showing all that petulance, but he's kind of matured a little bit himself.
They
and you need someone to guide them.
They respect him. They respect him. You could tell.
This is why I feel as though Casemiro's locker room presence is undermined a lot. Because when you look at Casemiro, it's very undermined because he's not the player that will be sulking. He's gone 5 games, 6 games without playing. He won't sulk on the bench. He wants
Straight professional. He's a straight professional.
He
Even yesterday in that game, somebody did something, and the glare he gave that person, I can't remember who it was, but the glare he gave them, I was like,
I think it was Collier, wasn't it?
yeah, I think it was Collier. Yeah.
I was asking Botswana,
The
like,
only
was it
thing
Dalot?
is, yeah,
Was it Dalot
you're
who
all
got
right.
the stare?
You're all right. You're all right about the Casemiro presence. Like, he's one of my favorite midfielders of all time, innit? But the problem is, yeah, you can't have someone who's not going to be playing as much on the big wage he's on just for dressing room presence. Because I remember back in the day when we kept Scholes and Giggs on for a very long time, Neville as well, and then Scholes come back out of retirement. They weren't on mad wages, even at that sort of time where you'd think a wage was high. They were there for the dressing room presence, but like with Bruno there, say if we lose, Casemiro has to be sold. We have to get him off the wage book, innit?
100%.
But if, for instance, I thought Maguire signed an extension, or is that false?
He did. I think he has a year and a half left now. So he extended by 1.
Okay, so if you've still got Maguire there, cool. But then you're going to lose Evans, who I thought isn't really much on the book. So I would have been someone that I would have said keep on the books just for the dressing room presence, what Fergie used to do back in the day. But the club probably won't do it. But in terms of bringing in players with a bit of age who are ready now, the only one that I really want to see is Victor Osimhen.
How old is Osimhen?
I think he's 26, hitting 27.
26, hitting 27, yeah. So, and he's played so many games. He's got a lot of experience. So that's a good.
He banged a hat trick the other day. He got a hat trick the other day.
Oh, serious? Is he back in
Yeah,
Napoli, right?
Penny, the streets wants to know what you're cooking, bro.
He's at Galatasaray, but Napoli want him out because Conte obviously is in love with Lukaku since the day he was born. So no room for Victor.
All right, Riri, I'm cooking some meat sauce. Let me show you. Put me on the mens. Let's see. How do you
That sounded a bit plausible, making some meat sauce, and then you go full screen.
All right, hang on. Let me just flip the camera. Sorry, just a second. I don't know how to work this.
I don't think he knows how to turn the camera around.
No, I had to go back to the. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I'm fixing some meat sauce.
Okay.
Pasta and some meat sauce.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, right. It's gonna be spicy too. I'm gonna add these hot little things there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think you should add a hot chip into that.
Bro, that's the only way we can have Mark and eat the hot chip. Put the hot chip in the meat sauce and invite him for dinner.
That guy's disappeared, man. No one's heard from him in about a week.
I keep telling y'all that guy does not care as much as you guys care. He doesn't care. I keep saying it. You don't understand. He doesn't care. Like, he does not care. You guys care more than he cares. He doesn't care.
Yeah, no, but he doesn't realize that he's banned off of KG's channel till he does the chip.
And he does. I don't think he cares, Pav. Like, he legit doesn't care.
My question is that
shout out to Mr. POTUS, by the way.
Like, this is the end of our friendship right here. Like he doesn't care.
Exactly. Has he decided
over a little spicy Dorito?
Over a little spicy Dorito that you deserve.
Yeah.
And you put it on yourself.
Why is that person saying that Osimhen has drama?
Yeah, this is crazy, by the way, guys. There's a narrative about Osimhen having major drama in dressing rooms. Do you guys know about it? Mr. POTUS is talking.
Well, give us the insight then. You've written that, but give us what drama he's caused, because I've never read about it.
The only drama that I'll tell you the drama that happened with Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen was at a club, and the club, his own club, posted a racist tweet about him. And then he got upset.
Yeah.
And then you call that being drama. Hey, you call that drama? You wouldn't be upset. Your own club should be protecting you. You know what I mean? From all these. Other than that, what else? and they refuse to apologize. Those people, what are they called, the Naples or whatever? Yeah, they refuse to apologize for that. And he banged how many goals? He make them win the is it the Scudetto or something?
Yeah.
The year before, and then they post a racist tweet about him. They refuse to apologize. Who would not be upset? Of
Oh,
course,
so
I'll be upset.
it's racismo.
Mad racism. Imagine it from the parent club, your people's. Uh,
Wow.
he was in, yeah. It makes
It's,
no sense. That's why it's very good to add context, like what Pap just
But
said. You just can't
he,
throw in
he
a jab and say he's bad that he's in the locker room. No, but what did he do? What led to that? Those are the questions that we look around. You know what I mean?
he's at Nice
No, is it not?
or
Not
Galatasaray.
Napoli?
He was
Turkey
at
got
Galatasaray.
Oh, he's
He's
On
at
at
loan.
Galatasaray. He's
Galatasaray.
at
On loan.
Galatasaray now,
On
but he
loan,
had
yeah.
that racismo thing going on at Napoli.
yeah,
Before he went to Galatasaray.
yeah.
Mm. He
Interesting.
seems to
Yeah.
be the only striker that's available right now who has sort of
No, but I think
experience.
there's other strikers probably there and abouts, but they're a bit younger. Like
Mm.
obviously the other one that you could say would be we cannot afford him, which is Isaac. No chance in hell. We can
Yeah.
afford
Oof.
Isaac, but
But
then you've got
Isak
like your
would be
Benjamin Sesko's
perfect.
who's up and coming.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know of too
Yeah.
many other strikers that are killing it right now. To be fair,
Yeah.
Am I the only one that kind of got upset about how we lost Cavani? Like we could have gotten more from Cavani?
do
No,
you know what the maddest thing is?
I'm with you on
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, Kenny. I'm with you. With you on
yeah.
that.
Because
The
Cavani.
Cavani
Yeah.
thing, yeah, he was injured a lot, but we should have signed him before he went to PSG because I was watching him when he was at Napoli, yeah, back in the day
Yeah.
when him and Falcao were basically they made their moves in it, and bro,
Mm.
like we should have signed him there and then. Fergie should have really got him, and he couldn't get Lewandowski, and but yeah, like yeah, we keep buying these strikers at the end of their career. We can't be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, Piv, real quick, just to touch on what you said with Ferguson not buying them, right? You remember the reason why Ferguson actually retired when he retired?
Because they wouldn't buy Bale and Ronaldo back.
Do you think well, yes, Ronaldo, but do you think it's more to it than just that? Do you think it's more like he actually did one damn type of players, but they was just like, nah, but you could settle with
The
this
Glazers, the
because you're
Glazers wouldn't let
Ferguson, like you
the
could deal with
Glazers wouldn't
this.
let him spend any money. We all know that. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
he,
exactly.
and
But
then
he
as soon
would,
as
I
he
feel like
left,
personally, he wanted to go for them players, though, but just couldn't. Although they
yeah,
was young at the
as soon
time
as he
too, and
left,
all of that.
the club start going in a downward spiral, and then they decided, all right, let's spend some money. Let's start spending crazy
Yep.
on players that don't fit anything, the team, the player, the manager, or nothing. So yeah, maybe we could have got an extra 2 or 3 years out of Fergie, but I blame the Glazers, innit? Because even that, he had to force the RVP move. They wouldn't even allow him to have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Man. Yeah, So, but what's this? I'm a bit. I don't know. Is there? I don't want to see Jadon Sancho come. Is there any truth in the fact that Chelsea might pay a fee for him to come back to United? Like, what the hell am I hearing in the streets?
Honestly, I don't know what to
Return.
believe when it
That's a
comes to
return
United
to sender
stories.
kind of situation,
Ah,
basically. Return to sender.
exactly. I
That's an
hate it.
Amazon. That's an
No.
Amazon package.
Nah, but I'll be honest, I know a set part of our fan base that would really be happy. The cross-eyed eye test merchants, they would be super happy that finally the aesthetic boy, Aesthetic FC is back. They don't care about no football. They care about the movement.
Listen, if the manager is not happy with Rashford and the way Rashford was moving, Jaden doesn't have a place in this team. I don't. If this is the manager that we're gonna have next season, Jaden
Mm.
doesn't have a place in this team. They're gonna have to find some way to move him on because
For me,
Jaden for me based on on the reports, and I don't know how true they are, and the fact that at Dortmund, the way the coach had to like get special people to like make sure Jaden made it to practice and make sure he brushed his teeth and took a bath and all of that stuff, like that hand holding baby situation, man.
It's time to brush your teeth, Jaden. It's 8 in the morning.
Right.
Nah, but the thing with Amarim though, like I don't know, he's very unpredictable because there's an unpopular decision that I fear might might go really really wrong for him. But I mean, for now, I just have to trust his opinion. Is this arm he's putting around Mason Mount, like this guy will either be his downfall. No, he's a good player. He's a what? Like this guy has never played like has never been fit for a long time.
Honey,
He's
he's not putting an arm around no one, bro. He's just trying to retain any amount of value that's left in him. Because if he goes out and, how Sir Jim said, players who really are at the big dollar are not performing, not even available. So, as a media proposition, bro, that guy ain't media trained. That guy has zero self-awareness of his own self. Forget the club. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Because if you just go by that,
mm,
what's the value of Mason Mount? No club is paying nothing, bro. He's gonna go out as Donny van de Beek, 500K at best. Man's injured, hasn't seen pitch. A lot of Surgeon Ratcliffe might not be here before he plays 90 minutes.
He's damaged goods, sure.
So,
yeah, that's why I'm worried.
obviously the
That's why I'm
manager has
worried
to
with
come
these
out and
comments.
say, you know what, this is a good player. I've seen him win this, that, and the other. Yeah, he did something 10 years ago, 5 years ago. He was a good lad when he was 5 years old. So there is something in that player. I can see it. Bro, that's just a lie. It's just a false hope.
Mm,
It's just
Yeah.
for
yeah,
people
well,
to be like, okay, you know what?
Mount,
Mount might be some kind of
Mount
player. They
wasn't
could be
Mount
good.
wasn't the way to go. That buy was out of all the purchases we've done in like the last 3 to 4 years, I didn't want that one. I didn't. I did not want it. I didn't want it at all because I saw him play at Chelsea at coming on to the end just before we bought him, and I knew he was going to be a situation when he got here. He wasn't. He already wasn't playing that much at Chelsea when we got him.
Mhm.
So I didn't want that. I didn't want that purchase at all. I didn't want it at all. And when it happened, I wasn't too happy about it.
Mount should have gone to one of those Italian clubs, how Pulisic did. And look at him. He's doing all right for himself. You should have gone to one of those clubs and,
Can we
just seen him
can we
follow you
even
around.
get any money for this guy in the summer?
Who?
Mount.
no.
You might have to pay some for a club
We'll
to
have
show
to
up.
pay somebody. For sure.
Maybe we'll tell Chelsea, listen, you want to send Sancho back to us? Yeah, we'll waive off the cancellation fee. Yeah, we'll take Sancho back. You man, buy Mount back.
You take you take Mount back.
Actually,
But
yeah, that
that's a
wouldn't be
good
bad.
conversation to be had because would you do that?
Nah, they wouldn't.
I think I would
They
do
wouldn't.
it because at least Sancho plays a few games here and there. He sat down Virgil van Dijk, one time.
If you guys haven't really noticed, Chelsea is on their petty behavior for the last few windows.
Yeah.
Liverpool tried to go for someone, they overpaid, they got the guy. They tried to take Garnacho from us. We asked for more money. They said, you know what, hold it. You wanted Quenda, right? Okay, sign him. They're on their petty behavior, bro, because they have money. Their owner knows how exactly he could cheat the system, but still not cheat the system. He sold his owned property in the name of the club, moved it to Chelsea's name, sold 3 hotels, got 5 players.
I don't know how Chelsea got lucky to be having such great owners
see,
because
see, Charlie's comment that you put up, where
yeah,
it says, yeah, it sounds like he's going to Chelsea. It doesn't mean that because Chelsea can refuse to buy him, but they have to pay a fee to cancel the obligation. I mean, the obligation was what, for 25 mil? So
Yeah.
either like Man United could take him to Court of Arbitration or the Premier League or the FA or whatever, but they'll just go. It'll go down to like, I don't know. Somebody said that they could end up paying us between 10 to 17 million, but I don't know, innit? Like there is an obligation, so they have to pay us
It
something for cancelling it.
This will be the
it wouldn't be
first
17
loan.
mil.
This
No,
will be the
it
first
wouldn't be
loan run out
17 mil because,
with
bro,
an
it wouldn't be
obligation to
17 mil.
buy that doesn't actually have an obligation. Like what? How is that possible that the obligation can be waived if you pay a certain amount of money? So it's
They can
never
refuse. They can refuse to honor the contract and the obligation, but then it comes into legal things where either United could take them to, like I said, to the Premier League or FA, or Chelsea have to come to an agreement where they pay United a fee.
wow.
They can't just say we're
See,
not paying you nothing, because then they're, like I said, United will just take them to court.
It's not going to be like they're not going to pay
it's
us
like
nothing, but the
it's like
amount
one
is
of them
not
ones
going to
whereby.
Ronald is
be.
speaking, Kenny. Hold on.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear
Uh,
that. Sorry, my bad.
oh, sorry, that's okay, Kani. I think you have a lot going on, but the amount is not going to be like 17 mil, Pat, because if that's just like 17 mil, you might as well keep the player. But the problem is that both the parties are not agreement in keeping the player. Sancho hasn't actually agreed personal terms either. So his salary could be one of the factors that they're looking at and be like, bro, that's too much of a money for a scrub like this.
They
So
would they would have
you
already
might
talked
there
about
might
salary. They would have talked about
they,
salary if there's an obligation in there. They wouldn't have done that
but
otherwise.
they haven't done with they have done all the talking with the club. They haven't spoken to the player. They only
Nah, I
spoke to
don't
the
believe
player for
that.
the
I don't
loan.
believe that. There's no chance that
Bro,
you put an obligation to buy without talking to the player about his salary if they do,
so
if the
so
deal
they
goes
took,
through.
but Pav, make it make sense. So you're saying they took the player went there, but there's no agreement in context. Like how would that make any sense? So things have
Because
fallen
there's an
apart at some
obligation to
point.
buy. So they would have already spoke to him about his salary, um, because they've got the obligation to buy already. It's not an option. It's an
But how
obligation to
so
buy. So they would
how
have already
so
talked to him
why
about
are they
him about his
saying
salary.
so why are
Can
they
I say
saying no
something?
personal agreement, no personal terms agreed between Sancho and
But
Chelsea?
where's that come from? What wrap up saying? Where's he got that from?
Fabrizio has reported that. Ornstein has spoken on it as well. That the club and Sancho hasn't agreed personal terms. And that's the reason why the whole situation of a possibility of coming back even started in the first place.
The
I
athletic.
think for me, I think and that the Athletic did that. I understood it more like what Pav is saying because in order for us to finalize this deal, there had to be an agreement between Sancho and Chelsea saying, okay, since we have an obligation to buy, after this, what salary will you be on once we buy you? You know, at the end of the season, you check. So they had agreed that term whereby, like, if it was an increment or deduction in salary, but an agreement had to be reached in order for the whole deal to go through. Otherwise, it would have fallen apart if there was no agreement with Chelsea and the player. That's how I understood it. You know.
Yeah, see, that's the whole point. I don't think because I think it was Fabrizio or Ornstein or Pisviller when they reported this, either of them had mentioned of how the deal was constructed. So could be possible. Yes, it is an obligation to buy, but there was some room for some kind of thing, some shady thing left in there by United, and that just allowed them to, pull that trigger because they might pay us. I don't think they're going to pay up like 17 mil. Don't think that's a possibility. I'm seeing more between the lines of like 5 to 10 mil as a penalty, and then we get the player back, and then here we go again, chance to sell him to someone else. So that at the end of the day, you just have one player whose wages for 6 months got taken care by a different club, and then we got 10 mil from him. So I mean, it's just profit at the end of the day. But we'll have to find him a new club, a new home, because the freedom fighter needs to fight.
I see. I think it's one of those whereby, like you say, Chelsea are running around. Maybe they found a loop, like you're saying. You know, when you get a book at the library, like the uni library, the book is expensive and rare. You know what I mean in your course. So,
Yeah.
but if you lose it, you'll find the book might be, let's say, like maybe $100, right? But when you lose the book, your fine is like $30 because you're a part of the university. You know what I mean? Like 30,
Yeah.
$40 somewhere there,
Yeah.
but not equivalent to the how much the book is worth. And some people would use that loophole to just get the book and just pay the fine and keep the book themselves. You take. So I
Yeah.
think that's what's happening here with whereby they've realized, oh, if we violate this contract, right? Our fine won't be as much as we're supposed to pay for this player on that obligation. So what's the point? Let's violate it and pay the fine, which won't be more than maybe 4 or 5 million, like what Ron was saying now. So
Yeah. The
United
flip
lose
side,
again.
the flip side to that question is there a world in which Jadon Sancho thrives under Ruben Amorim?
Probably not. Well,
Why?
There,
he
there
failed.
is a
He failed. He failed under Oli. He failed under Ragnick. He failed under Ten Hag. Don't know if he played any games under Carrick.
Don't forget
Um,
Dortmund as well, Pav.
well,
I
the
wouldn't
first
call
Second,
time
it
at
a
Dortmund,
failure.
he did well, but
no, I
on
mean his
loan he pretty
second,
much
his
on
return.
loan
Yeah.
he failed.
Mm.
Wasn't pulling up strings in pre-season again for us, and then went to Chelsea and has failed. So I don't see where he can go, bro. You might as well go to Saudi or something, beg for a club in Saudi or the MLS or something. Because I don't think you can do it in the top leagues.
So for you to ask bots like if there is a possibility he might work, yes, there might be. It's just not the world we live in. It might be a different parallel universe where he might be, rocking up shop under Amber. It's just not this one. There is, parallel universes, all of that. Yeah, he might
What
be
if
working out
Jadon
well.
Sancho is the
But
player
no,
Ruben
but bro,
Amorim's
see, the
Come on,
thing
bots,
is,
man, bots, bro.
bots,
Are we gonna sin bin
bots.
you on your own channel? Are you getting sin bin on
I'm
your own
just
channel?
Yeah,
Come on, remove yourself. Remove
bots.
yourself, man, and think about what you just said. Remove yourself and think about what you just said.
No,
Remove
no,
yourself and think
it's
about what you just said.
Bro, take a minute timeout. Take a 1 minute timeout, bro.
But Sancho went to Dortmund and he did all right. As to their standard, they made a new Twitter page just for Sancho to tweet in English as well, right? However, the moment season ended and he came back to our club, they gave his number away to someone else. So he doesn't even have anything to go back to. His salary really prizes him out for any club as such. Bro, the 350 that he begged for or he got at the time, it just priced him out of the market. No one is going to pay that kind of money for him for
You
what he
see,
offers.
Juve were looking at him, yeah, and then they were like, actually, hold up, this guy is trash. So guess who they went and signed? Some young right wing Portuguese winger. I can't remember his name, but I'm about to tell you now. And they were like, nah, this guy's not worth it.
Sancho is a scrub, bro. Legit scrub.
So
I
yeah, they
don't care
went
what
and signed
nobody says.
Cohen
I don't
Sal.
care what
Cohen
nobody
Sal they went
says.
and signed.
Holland made Sancho look good at Dortmund because he actually had somebody to pass the ball to or whatever. But if Sancho got to create and like do what he's supposed to do, he ain't got it. He ain't got it.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I think 1 year ago, and Bots was fighting, throwing hands at me for that statement. That Haaland made Sancho who he was, and Bots was not agreeing at that point. Now look at him, all quiet, looking down. Okay, fair.
No, Sancho wants to feel. He's the type of player that wants to feel like the main man. He wants to feel like the
Yeah,
club
main
is
character energy. Go
normal.
work for Disney. This is
And,
football.
so he thrives in environments like that. So if you don't make him feel like that, then
Yeah, but what
But
club would offer you that?
that's what I was saying at Dortmund. They were saying that the coach literally had somebody that used to get him up in the morning, get him to brush his teeth, wash his ass, put his uniform on, and get to the practice ground. Like that is ridiculous. They're not doing that in the PL. Like we're not doing that. Nobody's doing that for him, bro. So and that's the only way they got him to do what he was supposed to do at Dortmund.
Yo,
big
big
up.
up to everyone into the chat.
Yeah.
You know, big up to the whole panel. Have no fear, Bally Tech is here.
Come on.
Yeah. Man like Sancho, where do I begin with this guy? Obviously, he was at Dortmund. I was gassed. One of the man them from the ends, from Kennington. Yeah. I thought, yeah, South London boy, he's going to come to Man United. He's going to rip it up. Yeah. Then he came to Man United. And then he was soft. He wasn't the guy that I thought he was going to be. He wasn't the guy
Pause. Big
dribbling past
Oh,
people,
play. It's true.
scoring goals, assisting. He was like a gazelle, you know. A 50-50 would happen and he would jump out the tackle. Or it could be like 60-40 and then he will start slowing down because he doesn't want to receive a challenge. And then I said, whoa, what's happened to this geezer? Right? Then he couldn't get into team after team after team after team under different managers. And then I said, yo, I think we got robbed. Then he falls out with Ten Hag. Then his loyal supporters start going after the manager. And in my head, I was thinking, have these men not clocked on that this guy is trash? Then they're going after Bruno Fernandes, you know? This is a guy that's got like 175 GA for the club. And in my head, I'm thinking, rah. So he can come here and not do nothing, but Bruno's the problem. Okay, cool. Say no more. So he goes to Chelsea. Then these men are like, yeah, I'm going to be watching Chelsea games all of a sudden. Yeah, then every week, Sancho might give an assist where they pass him the ball. He just does one touch pass to someone. Someone scores off it. He's cooking. And in my head, I'm thinking, bruv, that was... My gran could do that, eyes closed. Yeah?
Brother's been cooking a salad his whole fucking career.
Yeah. So, all of a sudden now, he's... The false cooking narrative that they gave us, now we've seen that is shit. Now that Chelsea fans have seen that is shit, now they're bringing out all these stories. Oh, yeah, he might be coming back to United because of this, that, and the other. Listen, my G, stay over there. Don't come back. If you come back to Old Trafford, it's going to be peak for you, my G. Yeah, you're not gonna play no football. We're gonna put you in the reserves because you don't deserve to play football at this club, bruv. You want freedom? Don't come back. Yeah, have freedom somewhere else. Yeah, he's not good enough for the club. All this romanticizing. He could cook for Man United. He could play in the number 10. No way, bruv. This guy, yeah, he could if he wanted to, but the problem is, yeah, he doesn't have the heart. Yeah, you're trying to put somebody in a red shirt that doesn't have the heart. Yeah, telling me he's better than this guy and that guy, better than Bruno. Bruv, he's not even better than Scott McTominay. Yeah, I'm just gonna be real with you. He's not better than these men. Yeah, I would rather have a passion merchant any day of the week than to play a skillful gazelle that can't be asked there most of the time. I'm just gonna be real with you. Because at least I know that if I was to play like a Scott McTominay as an example, okay, cool. He might not have certain technical capabilities, but I know that he's gonna try and put in a shift. But whereas you got guys that are like, you know what, the manager pissed me off today. I ain't really gonna put no shift in. And this is what we're paying for. This is what people are driving to Old Trafford for, to watch an expensive English flop.
Yeah.
Hell no. Yeah, at least, yeah, if you come from this country, yeah, you're supposed to get it. You're supposed to understand. But he doesn't understand. He doesn't. Yeah, and the funny thing is, yeah, you got foreigners, yeah, that we buy for cheaper, yeah, that get it, that have the heart. And then we have fans telling me that, oh, yeah, but Bruno's this and Bruno's that. Bruv, you can't tell me nothing about Bruno, bruv. Bruno bails us out week in, week out, week in, week out. No appreciation. There's people online still arguing about what Bruno's valuation is to the club, what he's doing week in, week out. Like, he's the reason why Hoyland has scored after God knows when, bruv. Yeah? That through ball that he's played, like, he's the reason why Garnacho scored after God knows when. Yeah? He's the reason why he saved us week in, week out, yeah, from dross. Yeah, from dross results week in, week out. He saved us. Yeah. We need to put some respect on his name. There was people arguing about the contract he signed and everything else. But he's the only one who's worth it. If we're gonna be totally real, he's the only person in the club that deserves to be on the money that he's on. Everybody else, Rashford, one season wonder.
True.
Casemiro, one season wonder. Yeah,
True.
all of these men have only done it really for one season. He's the only person that's had multiple complete seasons. Yeah, he's been off the boil, but even his off the boil is not really that bad, you know. There are a lot of players that don't have a Bruno Fernandes bad season.
Been off the bro. The thing is, people really don't understand how he plays, because right now the numbers he's putting out are more than the numbers he was putting out when he came into the team and people said he was better at that time. If you look at his 2019-2020 season when he signed for us, the numbers are actually double what he has right now. At the end of the day, when Pogba left, his supporters, half of them, were like, okay, all right, you know what, we'll move on. Half of them then became Sancho FC. Then Sancho FC had more people, get hired. When Sancho left, they became Ahmed Diallo FC. They want to talk about goals and assists when Ahmed does it, or Ahmed Diallo does it, or Eriksen does it, or Sancho does it at Chelsea. But if it's Bruno, they don't like it. All those people who love these three players, they hate Bruno Fernandes. They don't like him. And for a fact, I don't know about if you see the channel or not, but I'm going to mention a name, Ricky. If you know, you know. That guy, that old geezer, bro, this guy hates Bruno. He said, don't like him. Even yesterday, the man said he ain't doing enough. He's like on the lines of he's holding us back. But bro, you're the same guy who reps on your left arm Anthony Martial and on your right arm Luke Shaw. Dead players.
I saw
Wait, Ricky has his own show?
Nah, he doesn't have his own show. He's just a side. Yeah.
I saw an
massive.
Instagram video where Ricky was like, Bruno, you shouldn't be taking free kicks. Look, like you
Bruno, Ricky's never really rated Bruno from the time we brought Bruno in. Ricky's never rated him. So
and then Bruno scored a free kick that day, the day when I saw the thing, like later on. So to shut him up.
He says that, and I could understand if he would come from a standpoint of, oh, he's not the level of Roy Keane. I get it, bro. No problem, right? I have no issues with that. You're just an old head. You like things how they were in the past, no problem. But if you're sitting there and glazing Anthony Martial, Luke Shaw, brother, you might be dead before they play 90 minutes for Manchester United. You yourself, I'm talking to the guy with the specs on. If he listens and gets clipped, send this, I have no problem. I said what I said. McTominay, yeah, he's doing better. And I could appreciate McTominay because he backed McTominay from day dot. And I could see his vision. But with the other two, I don't. Harry Maguire, his third or his fourth commander-in-chief. How's that going on?
True.
Donny van de Beek. He said Donny van de Beek would put Bruno on the bench. Yeah, we sold him for 500k, less than Iqbal. Less than the money we got for Iqbal.
Yeah.
500k.
No,
listen, I don't know. Like I said last night, I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know, what more this individual can do. Like I personally, I was on Joe's show a couple of weeks ago, and that question was posed when Roy Keane said what he said about his captaincy, and I said I can see it from that standpoint. where Roy Keane is talking about the type of captain he is. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the player himself, Bruno is a top player. Like, I don't understand how half of this fan base, or 80% of this fan base, keeps calling for his head. Like, he's a top player. I can understand if people have issues with the way he captains the team, because I've had issues with him in the past, the way he captains the team, and not being as aggressive as I would want him to be as a captain. But as a player, I cannot sit here and genuinely say, like, Bruno is not a top player. I can't.
Yeah, but then again, even Roy Keane, like some of things that he says, I understand and I kind of agree with. But then some parts of it, like when he says he's too emotional, brother, what were you? You were an emotional wreck for our team on the pitch when we had
Roy
the
Keane
armband
doesn't
on.
consider what he was emotional.
No, yeah.
When
I think
people use that word emotional, they associate it with all the whining. They associate it with all the feminine traits of emotion.
exactly
They
what
do not associate it with the male traits of emotion, which is
Like
anger,
Roy
aggression,
Keane,
and stuff like that. That stuff is not considered emotional. And that is the problem. When it's coming from a man, he associates being that word emotional with female traits, or what is considered to be female traits, which is like whining and moaning and complaining. But if trust me, if Bruno was aggressive, or if Bruno was stamping on somebody's chest, or if Bruno was doing all the things that Roy Keane used to do, he wouldn't have called him emotional.
Yeah.
but then that's the problem, Riri, because this season Bruno has had, I think, how many? 3 red cards.
No, I agree with you. I'm agreeing with you. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I know you're agreeing with me. I'm not like talking against you. I'm standing right next to you, and I'm in agreement with you, and I'm just adding more points to it, because when Roy Keane says what he says, bro, you're the same guy who told Ronaldo off when he was on the pitch, and he scored 2 goals on your bald head top in the same game. So know where you came from. You're the same guy bro. What happened with Nottingham Forest when Roy Keane was there? Relegated. Bruno did not get relegated. No problem.
100%, bro.
So you can say what you want to say, but when you magnify the negative and you try to diminish the positive, that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
If you're magnifying both of them, no problem. Say whatever you want. You have full right to say, freedom of speech, right? But if you're trying to magnify, oh, he's that negativity, this and that, but yeah, he scores goals. Yeah, but that's his job. Excuse me, what? That's his job.
Do you know what's crazy? Yeah.
Like, what?
Do you know what's crazy? I watched a show where basically this person, he asked the question: is Bruno Fernandes like a legend, so to speak, at the club? And I think like most of the chat said, yeah, technically he is. And then he was telling off the chat, saying that, oh, they don't know nothing and blah blah blah, that he's not a legend. He wouldn't play for Manchester United under Fergie. But then all of that gets dispelled when Andy Cole sits down with Rio Ferdinand, and Andy Cole said he would have loved to play with Bruno Fernandes.
No, Balitek, I'll be honest. I don't consider Bruno a legend myself. I don't. I have defended Bruno for the last 6 years. I still don't call him a legend. I call him a hero. I can give him the hero status.
I wouldn't call him a legend, right? I wouldn't necessarily call him a legend, but he's as close to it as possible without the trophies, and that's the only problem. Yeah, but people. This is how people's minds gets distorted, right? Because people would say that, let's say Brian Robson is a legend. Yeah, he played for Man United and he captained Man United for many, many years. But the problem is he didn't really win that much. If we're gonna be totally real, most of his seasons there was like barren. No title after no title after no title after no title. The only time he actually started to win titles was actually when he was injury hit. and he weren't really playing that much football. That's he won like 2 titles towards the end of his career, I believe. Like he weren't really winning titles. So, but he's a legend though. You understand? So I actually look at
Big up,
I
guys.
actually look at
Talk to you guys later. Sorry for cutting you. I'm just gonna head out now.
no,
All right.
no
Big up.
worries, brother.
Enjoy the
I
food.
actually
Yeah,
I
I'm
actually
eating, so
look
I'm
at
just gonna listen out. Okay, guys. Bye.
I actually look at Bruno as kind of like a Brian Robson. Yeah. He's done a lot for the club, but he hasn't really won the biggest trophies, if that makes any form of sense. Yeah. Because even when we won the title under when Brian Robson was captain, he wasn't really the main protagonist in the team because he was pretty much injured for the most part. So he was more or less a bit part player at the time when we was winning titles.
You see the doctor saying Brian is this generation's Bruno, or
So,
maybe Bruno
well,
is a bit better.
well, yeah, he's obviously better, but obviously people ain't gonna have that because they saw Brian Robson play. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Brian Robson was a wonderful player when he was playing, but obviously Bruno's output, this output that he has for an attacking midfielder is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And I just wish that Man United didn't fail him in the way that they failed him. We haven't had the players around him. Yeah, fair enough. We had it a little bit when we had Pogba and some other players, but now it's just Bruno, and it's just been Bruno for a long time. Yeah. We need players around Bruno that can match his energy, not Bruno having to do everything. Because you notice, yeah, Bruno has to drop into the back the back three to progress the ball, get into midfield to spray passes to the wing backs, then get into the number 10 row to flip in Fred through balls to Hoyland and the other attackers there. Like, why does he have to do all this work? Yeah. Why do we not have the adequate players around him who can actually pick up some of this slack so he can actually just say, do you know what? Rather than being a jack of all trades, I'm just going to be a master number 10. But we got this guy defending, we got this guy tackling, we got this guy popping up in all different types of areas. And if you watch all the games, yeah, most of the best play came through this man in different areas of the field. It is crazy the slander that he gets.
I don't know if you could play this clip or not. I've sent you a tweet. If you check your Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
If you play this, bro, if you just play that and you disassociate the images in front of it and you think of what is being said, you would say it's being said for Bruno. But that is being said for a set legend at a club. So if you can play it, I would appreciate it. If not, because there's no copyright on it.
I'll check it out. Let me welcome BTG to the Bruno conversation. BTG, we've been talking about Bruno, giving him his flowers. What's your take?
BTG, salute everyone.
Big
I
up.
don't know. People be hating him. Do you think, guys, it's because people like their old heroes, don't they? Like Scholes, Giggs, this and that. Do you think it's because Fernandez is basically catching him up, statistically and all that, and
he is.
So he's catching. So basically, he's catching up there, because people are generational, aren't they? He'd be catching up their heroes. So there is in life, the envy is a sin, isn't it? One of the 7 sins. And I think he's also be hated because of his image. I don't think he's liked because of his image, to be honest. The image he portrays also. Obviously, the actions he portrays,
His image in what way,
also his
though?
image. I don't think I'd put it this way, I'm just going to say, if he was English, okay, if that was Grealish, for instance, a guy like Grealish doing that, they'll be going crazy. He would be the captain of England. He would be. They would be going. You know, what I'm saying they would be going absolutely crazy. I just think it's someone like Bruno to get the credit because he's first he ain't looking like Ronaldo, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's from that. He's from that sort of trait, and I think there's a bit of.
Because Ronaldo was a whiner as well.
Sorry, Ronaldo got loads.
Ronaldo was a bit of a whiner as well, but no one cared
he
about
was.
him.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why. That's one thing I don't like about him with Portugal because of his, his actions, the way his body language. Yeah, and Bruno does that stuff. So I think it just gives people it really rubs people the wrong way. So for you to win people over, you'd be needing to score hat tricks every game.
Yeah.
Basically.
I honestly think even if he scored hat tricks every game, he wouldn't win over the majority of his fan base.
They'll still hate him, yeah. I mean, I listen to the channels and he'd be scoring a hat trick and they'd be like, yeah, he's done well today. They'll say he's done well today, but yeah. And it's frustrating, really.
No, he scored a hat trick and they said, in unison, they said he stat padded the hat trick. As if scoring penalties was easy.
They said it's penalties. Yeah, they go, it's
ask Vinicius Jr. is scoring penalty easy. Ask Rashford is scoring pen easy. Ask Saka is scoring pen easy.
I mean, it's not easy. It's like Goicoechea has got about 16 penalties this year. You know, Goicoechea, he's got 16 penalties in the league in Portugal. Sporting's got the most penalties, but he sticks them away. Some don't stick them away.
Incredible.
And if he's done everything perfect, you know what pettiness they go down to? They start saying, oh, he's already scored a pen. Why did he not give it to Højlund to gain some confidence? Brother, why? Is this charity?
Do you know who wasn't very good at penalties? And he's like one of the GOATs. These are facts. His penalties got saved a bit because he always tried to do a placer, softy show. Or is Maradona, for instance. You know, he's a GOAT like that, but he wasn't great at penalties.
Yeah, Maradona's technique got found out really early, and that's what happened with him and Penn. His technique got found out, and a lot of goalkeepers knew what he was gonna do before he even did it.
Yeah, he'd be getting his pen saved loads back in the day and that, but yeah, it's one of the three. It ain't easy because you need nerves, don't you?
Yeah.
People on YouTube be talking like.
Listen, this discussion, like I call it this is one of the carousel topics that I call it because it's going to continue and go on. It doesn't matter what this athlete does or how much he produces for us. There will be those that will never give him his flowers, and then there'll be the ones that do give him his flowers and get criticized for giving him his flowers.
Maybe Bruno shouldn't be so clean cut. Maybe he should be an alcoholic like Robson was.
Maybe that's what it is.
The culture. Yeah, he's one of the lads. He's one of the lads.
Basically what you said. If he was English, it'd be a different story.
Oh yeah!
Legit.
Oh my God!
Legit would have been a different story.
If that was an English guy, you know, doing them performances, oh my Lord, it would be
crazy.
You know, it'd be give him
the hate for Bruno. The hate for Bruno all started from Pogba, because when Pogba was here, that's when the fan base was really divided because people expected Pogba to be doing all of what Bruno eventually started doing from January, right? So the whole fan base was divided into Pogba FC or Bruno FC. When Pogba left, unfortunately, and I wouldn't want him to leave, I would still want him to be back, but he left eventually, right? Then the religion changed from Pogba to Sancho. When Sancho left, the religion again changed from Sancho to Amad Diallo. So the religion keeps changing. They just try to pick up another player.
Yeah.
So you think it can get a bit tribal at times, things?
Yeah, but now Amad Diallo's injured. Bro, I know people who wanted to give Amad Diallo Player of the Season award. Is he getting it now on the bench? In crutches? No.
Yeah, they were saying he messy and all that. Yeah, but he was doing well, of course.
No, BTG, never listen.
But they got the messy word out. He's messy.
No, BTG, never listen to Seaweed. That guy is dead in the head. Never listen to Seaweed, okay? I won't even say his name
I don't
correctly.
know
You
who
know what I mean.
Seaweed is, but
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
you
what you
know who
mean.
it
I know what
is.
you mean. I know what you mean, my for pappy. I know what you mean. But I check all the flavor on the YouTube, and it's some outlandish
clearly,
recipes.
clearly there should be a way to bring up somebody without having to put others down. There should be a way to just give flowers where
Yeah,
flowers.
but they be hating on him. Like, I think it's an image thing. I
But
really
you're
do.
not understanding. It's
And not being
hurting
player
people,
FC. You know,
bro.
you
But
can
it's
still be up
hurting
players.
them.
Yeah.
But it's hurting them to say, fair enough, Bruno has done well. It's hurting them to say us. They're
But
it's bro.
I have a question though.
The
I have
words
a
are on their.
question for the panel.
Sorry,
Like,
go on, Riri.
what is considered player FC? Because if you are commending an athlete on doing what they're supposed to do in the game that they play, and and you're bigging them up and you're giving them their flowers, how is that considered player FC?
Okay,
And
I can
I
break
find
down.
that that's the cancel culture that has been going on in football now with regards to these players. It's
I mean,
It's an
if
American
you
thing also.
I
Because
mean,
they
I could
be
tell you
I'm
what
cancelled.
sorry,
Player
say that.
FC is. I could tell you what Player FC is. Player FC is people, a tribe that will latch onto a player and take that player as their guy, right? No one can play in that player's position because if another player should play in that player's position, that we have to attack this player. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether the player is better than him or not. We have to attack this player and bring this player down whilst elevating our player and saying our player should be playing, right? Our players should play at all times. They should play in player FC positions, and also no one should play in their role, and anybody who comes for our player, we will defend to the hill. That is player FC.
And
So then,
they
if that
sometimes
is the case
huddle.
and that is the definition, then these I don't want to use a bad word, but they're using it in the wrong context. Then just they're just throwing that out there to throw that out there.
Yeah.
No,
Because I have never heard
it's more about.
anybody say that there's nobody that can't play Bruno's position. I've actually heard people say that Bruno needs a break, that Bruno
No,
needs somebody else to come in and play sometimes because he looks so tired and he's sometimes so beaten up.
yeah,
No,
but
he's not one of the
player,
The reason why
player
Player
FC.
FC started
Sorry,
against Bruno is because Bruno came to Man United and started playing in the number 10, but Pogba FC wanted Pogba playing in the number 10 and not in the pivot because Pogba was playing alongside Matic. They wanted
I
him
didn't know
further
there
up
was
the
that
field.
divide. I didn't know there was that divide in Manchester, as in the Pogba side, the Bruno side. So they were
Yeah,
stamping on each
BTG,
other's
I didn't even know.
you
I
did a
didn't
lot
know
of
that
catching up.
either. This is the first time I'm
Yeah,
hearing this. Like I didn't
You
even
guys,
know that was that divide.
see, the thing
that's
is
bad.
with player FC, when and Riri, you asked that. I think her
ICL
name is
started.
Riri. I'm sorry if it's not, but Riri, it also like player FC is to the point that they're blindsided that they only look at the good. If you tell them their player messed up for this reason, they would give you an excuse of why that reason happened, but they would not accept the fact that, yeah, you know what, yeah, that was an issue. Now, just look at it from like, for example, like Abs and I think Wrap Up Heaven are discussing in the chat about when I said Ahmed Diallo, right? Now they've just taken that out of context and they've posed a question and discussing that I am diminishing what Ahmed Diallo has done for us. No, I'm not. I didn't do that. It was said in the context of people who moved from Pogba to Sancho to Ahmed Diallo, who really cannot accept what Bruno's doing, who don't want to accept what Bruno's doing. I'm not saying Ahmed Diallo did not do what he did. He absolutely did what he had to do. He was carrying us for a good, I would say, 35 to 40% of the season. Unfortunate, he got injured. If he hadn't, he would have still continued. Imagine Ahmed Diallo and Bruno cooking at the same time. Now, I'm not trying to be player FC, but people do push that agenda that, oh, you know what? It ain't worth it.
Do you
just
guys
can't
think
see
on the
that blind
pitch it
side.
worked though? Fernandes Fernandes and Pogba, did it work on the pitch?
Yes, it did.
Yes,
It worked, yeah.
They just
For the short
needed-
period of
Um,
times they played together, it actually did work out. And I'll be honest, BTG, Bruno needed Pogba more than Pogba needed Bruno, if it makes any sense to you. Because the things that people say Bruno lacks as capabilities and qualities are all things that Pogba actually thrives on, like ball carrying ability. People say Bruno doesn't have that. Pogba can carry the ball for 500 yards, no problem. No one's touching him. No one can take the ball off of him, right?
That's the
And
one thing we
Pogba,
didn't like. That's the one thing we were critical of Fernandes with the Portuguese team, because we had guys in the middle in the past that could keep the ball, yeah. And he wasn't a keep the ball guy. He was a guy who would, want to a deadly pass and shoot.
and that's
it.
why I said Bruno
Yeah.
needed Pogba more than Pogba needed Bruno, because any 10 could have worked for Pogba to do what he was doing. Because there were two outlets. Even when Jose Mourinho can come up and say to his Tottenham team, look out for Pogba. He ain't telling you look out for Bruno. He said look out for Pogba, because he will ping that ball from deep. We used to have Pogba hold the ball and carry the ball from deep. Now Bruno has to do that role. Bruno is not perfect or good at that role. He is subpar at that role.
Yeah. Vegeta says Bruno and Pogba loved playing with each other because quality loves to play with quality, and that's such an accurate statement, bro. I wanna say, guys, big up to everybody that's tuned in, that's been dropping in, hitting the like button. Appreciation to you. This is the Bruno Fernandes Appreciation Week, I guess. I want to invite anybody that's in the panel, any final closing words on what we've talked about today, not just necessarily Bruno only, but this is where the conversation has led to. But any closing words from anybody?
Big up the panel, because I'm about to drop off. Big up the panel, big up the discussion. This was a very good discussion.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I learned some things today. I always learn things on these panels. Because I'm not in depth like these men. They go real deep, real in depth into the sport. I'm a football fan, but I don't follow players around checking out their GA every day. But yeah, big up bots on this discussion, man. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, wherever you are in the world. Just stay blessed.
Blessings, peace to you, Riri. Thanks for gracing us with your presence as well. So big up yourself for joining the panel. Thank you so much.
My thoughts would be that Bruno Fernandes, as much as you hate him, appreciate him. You hate him all you want, appreciate him, because the man's old. He's getting old. There are maybe 2 or 3 years left of what you have to suffer for people who think they're suffering with Bruno, right? It's not a lot of years of suffering left for you. So enjoy till it lasts, appreciate him, talk to Bruno Fernandes nicely for now, because he is carrying you. The same way you said Amad Diallo was carrying you, Bruno Fernandes is carrying you right now. 15 goal involvements, assists, or goals in the last 17 goals we have scored as a team collectively tells you the man is putting in a shift. He's getting criticized through that performance as well. He's still going on, and he's still outperforming a lot of lads who are much younger than him. And I think you compared him to Brian Robson. I wouldn't go that far, right? How far I would go is, I would say he is the Gerrard to our team. Played around shit players all his life, but still was the best performer amongst the shit. So I would definitely compare him to that.
The best of the bunch. Big up, broski. Big up,
so yeah, for that. He is the Gerrard of our team. Simple as.
Yeah. No doubt. Shout out to Ronald for that impassioned rant on Bruno earlier on. Bali Tech.
Yo, have no fear. But yeah,
Yes,
Listen,
sir.
no more Jadon Sancho to Manchester United rumors. We can dead this for now. If Fabrizio tries to apply that he's coming back to Old Trafford,
Yes.
I'm following this guy. Yeah. Don't even fix your mouth to even try it, mate. Just let's be real. He's got obligation to buy. He's going to Chelsea. He's staying. In fact, he's at Chelsea and he's staying there. They're keeping his locker room warm. Yeah. Cool.
May the
Bruno Fernandes. Yeah.
yes, yes.
He's as close to a legend as we could possibly have. Yeah. If you think about Rooney, the company that Rooney's in, right? He is one assist, I believe, behind Rooney. Yeah. He is, I think, about 4 or 5 assists away from Paul Scholes. Yeah. This is the company. This is the company that Bruno Fernandes is around. Now, he will surpass them and he will be looking at bigger targets real soon. So, yeah, that's just a movie that I'm waiting to watch.
Bro, big up Buddy Tech for that. Yo,
They're going for it, aren't they?
we'll
I
be
mean, he's in the top 10, isn't he? I just want to say he's in the top 10 Man United player ever stats or whatever. That quantifies as a legend.
yeah.
In any club, in anything, if you're in the top 10 commandments, top 10 list of anything, a club or whatever, you're a legend. He is a legend. People be player hating. Stop player hating out there, my friends.
As as a as a
You be playing hating, especially when he's performing, because there's
Yes.
players performing under him and they don't get the flack he does. I
Yeah.
know he's a captain, he's got more responsibility, more expected, but still, I mean, yeah, people got issues.
as a Portuguese national, when you see Bruno doing so well and being like pretty much at his peak, do you feel like he should go to Real Madrid, like to go to a different club, or like he should just still stay at Manchester?
I mean, it's kind of, dare I say, it's a bit late now for him. He's 30, isn't he? So
Yeah.
he's all signed up. He has got a good deal. Yeah, sort of thing. The only thing I would see him doing is Saudi, because he would cash loads because he's got a lot of cred, isn't he? Manchester United player, done well. He would get a lot of money in Saudi,
Yeah.
and I think he'll play well because he's got one of them Ryan Giggs physiques. He's always fit. He's got the stamina. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
he ain't getting fat out here. You know,
No,
we spoke yesterday about the physicality thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, BTG,
so, yeah.
check out
Take-
his last 6 heat maps. He's like he's trying to cut the
Jesus.
grass on
That
the whole
is-
area of the pitch. You know,
It's hot, isn't it? Yeah,
if
it's
he
hot,
was a
isn't it?
lawnmower, like the grass is cut
That's
almost
easy.
everywhere.
Well said. He definitely a lawnmower. That's a perfect analogy. Oh yeah, he'd be cutting that grass everywhere.
For real,
But
bro.
yeah, fair play to him. Well, I mean, I hope the next month is going to be tough for Manchester. Some right tests, isn't there?
100%.
City, Forest, the Leon. Yeah, so hopefully he keeps that up there because he's criticised for not doing it in the big games or something, isn't he?
True.
Well, there's some big games coming up, so
Yeah.
it's exciting, really. The next month.
Yeah. Can we end it on this? How do you say his name again in the Portuguese way?
Bruno Fernandes.
Come on.
Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno
is a lot, very used in Portuguese as a name. It kind of is as a first name.
Oh,
I've got a cousin called Bruno. Lives in South Africa.
Called Bruno.
Have you? Have you?
Yeah.
Bruno.
Bruno
the boxer. Do you know the Bruno the boxer from the UK?
Yes.
Yeah, Bruno, Frank Bruno, yeah.
Yes.
A bit of a legend. Yeah. Well, he fought
Incredible.
Mike Tyson, didn't he?
Yes,
Twice.
sir.
But yeah, Bruno.
Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, so it's Bruno Fernandes.
You heard him say it, Bruno Fernandes. That's how you say it, ladies and gentlemen. Say it right, say it with respect, say it for the legend, the Magnifico, the captain. 16 goals and 15 assists. He has gotten most of these as an 8. Incredible. We'll end the show with an update on women's football with the lovely, the one and only, the undisputed Riley Taylor. Big up, Riley.
Big up. Well, big news today. The Barclays Women's Championship cumulative attendance is 140,676. It's the most attended women's championship season to date ever on record.
Which game is this?
It's the whole of the Barclays Women's Championship throughout the season. 140,676 cumulative attendance record for the season.
Cumulative. You meant cumulative.
Yep, that one there. It's the most attended season as a whole. Barclays Women's Super League to come when the figures comes out with a few games left of the season. When we do have them, we'll bring it to you first. But right now, this is the most attended Barclays Women's Championship season to date.
Come on. Big up, Riley. Thank you for that stat. Shout out to yourself. Guys, that was Riley Taylor. And appreciation to everybody that has hit the like button. Kind reminder to do so if you haven't done so yet. And yeah, good news from Yale earlier on. Maguire, Euro, Shaw, and Mano up. Hold on. Pull over. What did he just say? And Mano? Yale, you're bullshitting. For real? Maguire, Euro, Shaw, and Mano are back, allegedly, after the international break. These are Yale's words. Guys. They could be hope. No joke. All right. All of a sudden, it's not looking too bad, you know. All of a sudden, I have a little bit of hope. Man.
We will be there.
Hit the like button. Let's yeah, we will talk about this more later on. And by the way, we'll see each other in the World Cup, Vegeta. Big up yourself. And peace. Don't forget the notification bell as well, by the way. We out of here. Football Power Hour.